Next time on
Welcome to my world.
Gielinor! So, Sotsu 6, were put to sleep. We did not witness Changok flee. We did not witness any fight between the Great Dama or whatever the heck Jinko did, but we did see a play. And, we were introduced to the play with Act 2, which it was, essentially, a scene long ago, just before the tragedy of the Rift, where two handmaidens of Osu, were essentially looking into the disappearance of the missing shard, which apparently was stolen by Da-En. And Da-En's, guards essentially stopped them. One of them, voiced their concern, talking about how he doesn't trust the handmaidens of Osu. The other two were just, I mean, they're women. What are they gonna do? Fold clothes to death? Squad W. Okay, anyways. One of them stabbed them. And then the other two kind of backed up like, whoa, whoa, whoa. One was very drunk. One was very, I don't get paid enough for this shit. And before the handmaidens can continue on and go deeper into their investigation, suddenly there's a big explosion and the whole island went black. And that was a transition into Act 3, where we go way, way back, where we look at some skeptic gathered around a stony villa, and they're talking about how some skeptic, led by Dracker, want to kind of leave the island where they're protected from the deep ones by the rift, and they want to explore the west and see what else is out there on this plane of Gielinor. Meanwhile, followers of Sasuke, not Sasuke, Sasuke, the Shadow Dancer, they're skeptical. They don't want to leave knowing that there's so much to be discovered with the rift itself. Not only that, they don't want to risk the deep ones getting any kind of control over them. But with this agree to disagree motion, they split both ways. They leave each other, and we see the skeptic move out to the west. And well, eventually, this transitions out into Osu, interrupting Musoka and Chiruku's, little play watching ventures, where she talks about how she essentially kind of tells us her story, where she talks about how she how her mother Junko had actually triplets, and instead of absorbing the souls of the triplets herself, she let Osu absorb those triplets, and she was told by a little strange lizard that she was the chosen one to protect the stone, essentially, and make sure that it doesn't get in any harm's way. And essentially, she kind of was a little devastated at the fact that she was essentially she called herself a monster. She thought that she was something was dark about her, that considering she swallowed her sister's souls in the womb. She's given the gift of smoke of the Haranu bloodline, and yeah, essentially she kind of orchestrated her own exile from Haranu in order to protect it from herself. And when essentially what happened with Junko is she tried to use our essence to, I don't know, to fight or something, to give Osu like more power to fight Changok. And on the outside, essentially she injured Changok and he was able to get away, but essentially she was able to protect the stone from him. So, but what happened was Junko, thinking that one of us was gonna go kapooey from the spell, she underestimated us and she exploded. So, yeah, essentially, she also told us that the reason why Musoka and Shiruku were there was because they're touched by Da'en, but she was able to easily remove the curse from Musoka, but Shiruku had to have a choice, either try to pursue some kind of a cure on the outside world or become a gray, and he chose to pursue a cure on the outside world. But either way, after that, we awake. The battle is over, and the observers are looking their runes. We learn that Tsuboko has become the first observer, and that Osu is kind of in her quarters. She's not allowing anyone to enter. She needs alone time, essentially. But what Tsuboko also gave us was a marble sphere that had the orb inside of it, or the orb, the black crystal inside of it, and basically told us that she wanted us to take it far away, and so we did. We swiftly left the island, and while we were, Musoka was messaged by Yume, and essentially finding out that in the warehouse that Jaku was investigating, what's it called? They were being leased by the STL and by the Cloak Consultants. And the weird thing about the Cloak Consultants was on this invoice, the Cloak Consultants were written with K/LOE, kind of meaning, or kind of insinuating that maybe LOE means League of Excellence. It's very weird, but either way, Musoka definitely relays this to Peyton, and we kind of speculate on it. We keep it in our minds. That night, she also talked to Jaku. He was very nervous, and he essentially revealed that the golems, they weren't chi-based, and essentially the contents of that warehouse were leased by Changuk, and they're apparently being sent. Well, they're on the ship called the Grape's Rise, which is apparently where we're going, and it's headed for Changuk's Oracle Mother, which is very strange. Or maybe twin sister? Oh, interesting. And yeah. Eventually, oh yeah, what's it called? Jinroy and Musoka. God, it's all Musoka. I'm sorry. I'm gonna fucking hog the spotlight. Musoka and Jinroy have a conversation. Apparently, he's having emotions after he saw a vision of the Grey Damba's voice and some of her attendants. It was very strange. That he's feeling emotions, and Musoka kind of poked him, trying to get him to feel it. He's unable to identify the origin of that weird protocol, and I know that kind of story. Anyways, finally, we get back to Yangshi and we meet Joni. She's very happy with our progress, and she talks to us about how she's probably gonna leave the orb in the secret vault, and how Lu the Two's bodyguard finally recovered from his injuries, and we essentially go in there. We talk about how we essentially talk about the political situation among the Manifold Orders, which is after one of the monks came back after his journey to the west. They essentially brought a talisman back, and this talisman kind of made everyone kind of go crazy, like just the fact that they can connect to this fire plane with the talisman. And essentially they find out, or what's called, they eventually turn into a bit of a military power, and they're essentially like a mercenary group at this point, and they're hired, of course, by Lu.
More imperialistic about it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and like so they're kind of charged with guarding the life of Lu the Two. But thing is, Chenguk also seems to have these weird talismans, and Chenguk's boys essentially coax the bodyguards into betraying Lu the Two. But our favorite bodyguard here, he thought it was wrong, so he tried to defend Lu the Two, but he ended up not not succeeding, sadly. Now he's telling us, so that's very nice of him. What else is next? Essentially, after that, we kind of... Oh, one thing that happens is Bijutsu visits her mother, which is very nice. Fukuro goes to the Temple of Zamorak, looking for a cure for Shiruku. Runs into Kani, and Kani kind of suggests that he should talk to the monk, or the priest that runs the church. Eventually, I think what else happened was Masoka tried to get Shiruku to sleep a little longer, and they had a little conversation about Shiruku apparently being a sea orphan in his dream, which is like, whoa. And yeah, we went to the Zamrakan Temple, and Shiruku got a beautiful, very nice blessing, allowing him to... What does it do exactly? It keeps him from... He's allowed to sleep, basically?
No, it's a +2 to his AC for 10 days.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's alright.
Alright.
It doesn't help my problems directly, but it's a little bonus.
Definitely. Either way, though, what else? Fukuro, basically talks to us about the tetrahedron, and, what else? Oh, we meet Shosho, and, Bijutsu kind of kicks his ass, like, kind of yells at him for the whole stuck protocol thing, and after that, I think we're on our way. Hoping to find the dragon's fate. Oh, it's kind of a long intro.
Yeah. A lot happened last time. Some sessions are like that. That is, indeed, where you find yourselves. Out on the open water, the sea stretching ahead of you, feeling the chill of the wind around you. It is still winter. You can see dark clouds off in the distance, pulling your cloaks about as you can see your breath gathering in front of you. Can hear that humming of the engine. But at this moment, those clouds are not close, only far on the horizon, and you can see a little bit of the golden light of the encroaching sunset, creating this wide orange ray on the surface of a surprisingly still sea. You are gathered... No, I don't like this one. Choosing the right music track. You are gathered out on the deck with most of the rest of your crew. You see one of the soldiers, this young-looking tiger rider, is leading something of a service. She continues as you all sort of stand somewhat stoically, some looking down, some watching her, some maybe distracted looking at the ocean. Mitsumochi, 26, leaves behind 2 dedicated parents, a loving fiancé. His dream was to buy a plot of land outside of Yangshi, start his own orchid garden. Mitsumochi, we will see to it that your garden blooms. Hisayuki, age 31, leaves behind 3 brothers and 1 young son. This was to be one of his last tours in active duty. Isayuki, we commemorate your bravery. And she continues on, listing out the names of the 5 members of Akira's Avengers who were lost in the mission to Hanto. She finally continues. We commend your memory to the sky. May it take wings. May it fly with the grace of Byakko. May it never be forgotten. She bows her head, and she starts speaking what you can clearly tell is a prayer. Most of you don't understand it, but I believe Fukuro you do, as it is seems to be a very old passage, something in Chimeric. Before she finally nods, and you see the old armor, or at least what was scavenged of it, of these 5 soldiers, is very pretentiously lowered off the side of the boat into the sea. There's a moment before the tension breaks. She kind of retreats back down to her own place below the deck. The crew starts to move off to their places. Those who are actively keeping watch over the engine working. Those of them who have a moment of R&R in this hour.
Is Mizuki around?
Oh yeah, Mizuki's definitely there.
How's she doing?
She's has a little bit of a furrow to her brow, but she's definitely stiff upper lipping it. Though, you know, she's a veteran of the Vanguard. This probably isn't the first time she's seen a loss in her ranks.
I think Musoka would kind of just give her a nod before getting back to her own duties too, like a respectful. I know this is probably hard on you, especially, right?
Yeah, she kind of gives you a nod back, unspoken but very clearly understanding. So, as this solemn gathering breaks up, I want to ask, there would still be a few personal effects of a couple of these soldiers on board the ship. And I think as the more senior members, or those in a position of command, it would probably be up to one of Sotsu's 6 to go through those things, to pack them up for them maybe, or work out what's personal and what is Vanguard property, whatever protocol there is to it. I want to ask which one of you is taking care of that.
I guess Fukuro was the most suited technically.
That seems most appropriate.
I was just thinking, like, all these people probably outranked me, so
Now we're equals, I think. Maybe not for Guro, but
I think Fukuro's been a Vanguard the longest.
yeah.
Yeah, that is true. So Fukuro, you have kind of taken out the sea bag of things, going through it. When you find at the bottom this stained dog-eared copy of The Palace in Autumn, which you know is technically contraband.
What kind of contraband?
Well, you know that the copies of this play have been disallowed on on Haranu.
Yes. Just slip it in his pocket. Nobody needs to know about that.
Yeah, I'll put it up here so you can remember what that is.
Oh, this one, right?
You remember that?
Yeah, you slip it away so no one will see that, will know what this legacy was. It was when you see one of the soldiers coming up to you, not someone who was part of the first wave of Akira's Avengers, one of the new recruits who you picked up on your brief stop over in Yangshi, and kind of gives a salute. Captain, sir, I was wondering if I could speak with you.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure how much you stand on etiquette, sir, but I wish to speak with you a little bit more candidly.
Fukuro just kind of. Can we please drop all of the sir in that?
Oh,
Kind of just makes conversations longer.
yes, good. I had a drill sergeant in training at the Iron Terrace who was very big on that, but I heard that you were SSC, so you probably aren't. I'm rambling and you don't want to hear that. Good, very good. I wanted to ask. I know that the exact objectives of our mission are confidential, need to know, but I wanted to hear if you could tell us anything more about what we hope to find, what our goal is in the Tengu tetrahedron. I mean, it's I've only ever heard the rumors of that place, grown up hearing the rumors of the Tengu tetrahedron.
What is it that you already know?
I mean, I know that there are legends about it of ships heading into that part of the sea and going missing. Of it being full of kami.
Meant about the mission.
The mission. Yes, of course. I'm sorry. Well, I know we're heading into the tetrahedron. I know that we're crewing the ship, and I know that you and Sotsu 6 have your own confidential mission, and that we're only to be called in on that as needed on a need-to-know basis. But I'm sorry, but I feel if we're going to be risking our lives in the ship going into the Tengu tetrahedron, that we maybe deserve to know a little bit more about what your mission is.
Fukuro kind of pauses a minute. Let's go get the rest of the crew so we can clear this up with everybody at once.
Yes, sir. I'll gather them up at once. So, a few minutes later, you have most of the crew gathered around you.
And I think while Dude is getting the rest of the crew, Fukuro would try to get the rest of our main group as well. Because we do... Yeah.
Yeah, very easily.
So, You have been told that we are going to the Tengu Tetrahedron for a mission. He's kind of addressing the rest of the crew as a whole. And that it's confidential. That is all you've been told.
Yes, yes. See, you can see that some of the ones who are with you on Hanto are maybe a little bit more, maybe not exactly jaded, but have the air that they maybe understand this, even though they haven't been told the details of it a little bit more than the 5 newer crew members.
You all heard about the attack on Harani Manor, yes?
Of course, of course.
Do you know what happened during that attack?
Yes, enemy soldiers and rebel vanguard from Renbo, they came in, burned the manor down.
They did burn the manor down, but the manor is not all that they took from Harani. You remember the succession crisis. You remember Kao parading around with some young child claiming he's the son of Khan Liu, yes?
Yeah, there are tentative nods through the crowd.
It was true.
You mean there actually is another heir?
Yes, though he is far younger than any of the others were. Akira, Joni, Osu. In fact, I don't believe even now he would be old enough to rule. Nor in the correct mindset, but that's another thing entirely. When they attacked Haranuman, Liu II was there. He had run away from Renbo, and they took him back.
So they kidnapped him.
Yeah, more or less. And now, we're going to get him back.
Then why are we heading to the Tengu Tetrahedron? Didn't you say he's in Renbo?
No. He escaped from Renbo. Chengok came and took him, and apparently took him to the Tengu Tetrahedron, where he will be meeting... wait, no, never mind, we don't know that. Where he will be doing something.
Are the rest of us here too?
Yes.
Let's just say, from what we can tell, they want to run a pretty big smear campaign on this, and they're wanting to pull all of the dirty tricks in the book to make it happen.
Well,
Yeah, there's sort of
We
some
need to
whispers.
stop them using this poor kid, who probably would have a much brighter future doing what he wants to do. Stop them from using him like a political chess piece.
Yeah. There are sort of murmurs through the crowd, through your crew of this, sort of learning more of the true details of this.
Yes, Lou he's just a teenager and, well, I'm sure any teenager doesn't deserve that sort of treatment.
And then that first crew member who came to you, Fukuro, pipes up again. So that means you think it's pretty likely we'll be going up against more rebel vanguard.
It's definitely not out of the realm of possibility, but somehow I get the feeling that we're going to be contending with things that are a lot more subtle and deadly this time.
Yes, while the Rebel Vanguard will almost certainly be present, they will likely not be the most threatening thing. I do not believe I should tell you the whole story here, as this involves missions other than our own, but have you ever heard, any of you, of the Dragon's Feet?
You see that actually, most of them don't seem to register this, but a few of them do when they kind of seem confused to hear this name come up.
We believe that the Dragon's Feet may currently be in the Tengu Tetrahedron, and that also may be where Changok is.
There's a little bit more of a hush for this. A few of them, it seems like the people who don't know are asking the ones who do what the Dragon's Fate is. And one of them pipes up. So this mission, it's not going to be much of a smash and grab then.
No, we're not hoping so. But there is a slight chance that we'll end up having to dock in the Tetrahedron itself, which is why you're here.
So we're here more as crew than anything.
Yeah, assuming nothing goes too sideways, hopefully you will hardly see any of this. But of course, we can't guarantee everything because, well, the veterans here know what crazy shit happened last time, and we don't know what kind of things that they're going to be saving as curveballs for us this time. We gotta be prepared for anything.
Yeah, you hear a strong voice from this barrel-chested, kind of middle-aged man from the back. We'll be ready!
Awesome! You guys kick ass, remember that!
Yeah, and at this, there's a little bit of a, not exactly a cheer, but more of a yeah. They seem heartened by this. And your pep talk seems to sort of conclude. But then that same soldier approaches you, Fukuro, once more. He says, Captain, I feel it's only fair to tell you. I have a brother. An older brother. He defected to Cow during the succession crisis. I haven't had any contact with him since, but
Cal's forces have been many places since then. Renbo, Hanto, among other places. You worry that you will encounter him here.
I don't know how likely that is. I hope that I don't. After Khan Lu died, it was very hard for my family. My father, he'd been a soldier as well. He was injured in service, couldn't work. Money was tight for us, and then, when the Khanate's funds dried up, when the soldiers weren't getting paid anymore, well, we lost our home, for a lot of hungry nights. I couldn't blame my brother for taking the opportunity he had. And now, things are better on Horanu than they were, but we still living in a little shack. My father spending his twilight years rather than in the house he built. Sometimes I look around, I see neighbors we had who are sea orphans who get these programs, who they're getting these free rides in Goncho College, and it ascending to the upper tiers of the engineering. And I mean, I know it's not fair to compare my situation to others, but it feels like I've been left behind. You know, things have not been... The people, morale has not been the greatest in Yangshi since the attack. It's been protests about North Base. Everyone in the street, in the market, even in the barracks, is talking about the Khan. Whether she really has ties to the occult or whether it's all propaganda, we don't know. I'm loyal to Horanu, of course, but things have been difficult.
Yes, they have. I understand what you mean about a lot of that. I was positioned for security in North Base for a while. Slowly, I became less and less active and less able to do anything there, till eventually I was outright replaced by a golem. If I hadn't had the SSC to fall back on, I probably would have ended up in the exact same situation as you. Times have been tough for you, for me, for all of them, for the entire city, for the entire island. But they always say things have to get worse before they get better. Somebody once said that.
Yeah, that does kind of puts things in perspective. I'm sorry, but thank you, Captain. Truly. He kind of gives a bow, heads off to his duties.
Kuro turns back to the rest of the group, our group. He's right, you know. Morale in the Vanguard has never been lower for the past nearly 25 years that I've been part of it.
Well, we are still going through a crisis. And these are
Trying to
symptoms of that.
destroy it from the inside, and unfortunately, it's working pretty damn well.
And his comments about the sea orphans. It's very concerning to think that sea orphans were once the bottom of society, and now people believe they have been jet streamed to the top, and it only makes them hate them even more. It's almost as if you can't win.
Story of my life, dude.
Well, that is
Would
one of...
I offer therapy sessions for anyone in need?
One thing at a time, Jin. We'll focus on this mission, we'll focus on completing it, we'll focus on getting home, then we'll focus on fixing Haran.
Look, I'm no psychologist, but it's a lot harder to sort out your shit when you're worried about where you're gonna eat tomorrow, or whether or not you're even gonna be alive the next day. That seems a little bit important to address first before we get onto all of the talky-feely shit.
There is some silence in his course before he kind of speaks out. Therapy session for Miss Bijutsu has been scheduled for 3 months from now.
You know what? Fair enough.
Do you really want to have a therapy session designed by Shosho?
You know what? Cancel that. I don't want to take my chances.
Are you certain this therapy session will be hosted by Ton Lei?
Okay. Hold that for now.
We'll put a pin in it.
Keeping therapy session in mind. Or memory.
So, Bujutsu, you narrowly dodge that particular bullet. But 24 hours later, you find yourself in a situation that you cannot dodge. You find yourselves, your hands gripped on the helm, as you hear the endless pulse, the doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo of the struggling static engine of Setya's courage. You have begun to breach the area known as Tengu's tetrahedron, and you, almost immediately, were assaulted, found yourselves in the middle of this storm. You can feel this icy water whipping your hair, nearly covering your eyes as you toss it back with one arm. Can see your crew clinging to the deck. Can see them getting out, the oars getting out whatever they can to try to make this storm more survivable. You look and you see ahead of you the ocean swelling in this wave that's about 3 times taller than the mass of the ship itself, as you deftly turn the wheel, urging the crew to almost lean with their weight to get as much as you can, and you dodge out of it. Mizuki calls out from just below the deck. It looks like you've got 2 options. You can either try to overclock the engine, try to put all of its power into getting you past this storm, out of it as quickly as possible. Though you know at that point you'll be subject at the mercy of whatever awaits you on the other side. Or she can lower the amount of chi power going to it, keep it at a simmer. But then you'll have to ride out the storm with your own skill and those of your crew. Bujutsu, what are you doing?
Well, what do we think is worse? That raging thing out there? Whatever the fuck those bastards could plan for us while our ship's completely immobile. I don't know about you, but I'm a lot more familiar with the weather than I am with those bastards.
I agree, and I do think we could. I think we'd be safe if we waited it out, but
I
this
don't
would all
think
be for
that's
naught
an
if we get
option right
captured.
now, Dreamer.
That's option number 2.
Musoka!
Huh?
If we are going to wait out the storm, it's probably best if you give all the crew water breathing. Maybe you and Peyton. So if anyone falls overboard, they will be safe.
Good idea. All right, and she will cast water breathing on. I'll do everybody in the party, and then the rest will go to the crew, and then I guess Peyton can do the next 10.
Yeah, okay. I didn't have prepared, so it will have to be a ritual 10-minute casting.
But yeah. Alright then, we
That's
can
okay.
start. Lower the power, we're going through it.
Yeah,
Everyone's hands on deck! This is gonna be a son of a bitch!
you see that blue glow start to grow dimmer and dimmer as you see Peyton concentrating, trying to cast this water-breathing spell as a ritual. Bujutsu, as you keep your hands clenched around the helm, you can see another one of these great waves coming up at you. What are you doing?
That is a good question. Now, do I try to do the sensible thing, or do I try to do the risky thing?
What's the risky thing? What's the sensible thing? I actually don't know what to do here.
just start by trying to go around it.
All right, you're going to try to go around it. That is going to be a hard turn. Are any of you going to help with this hard turn?
Yes, but I feel like I'm not the best person to. Maybe
Yeah,
to-
whoever's going to help, you're going to need to make an acrobatics check on the lines or something with the crew to try to help in making this hard turn.
I have a bad dex.
Well, I've got disadvantage with everything except charisma, so.
Shit. Fukuro? Oh, I think he's AFK, but can we say Fukuro doesn't? Oh, okay.
I'll do it. Look, I don't have the dex for it, but I'll just use my strong arm to lead them with a strong will. Yes, that's how it works, I think, maybe?
Maybe. I'll let you make a strength check or an acrobatics check.
Well, this is an obvious pick.
And Bajutsu, you make a seafaring check.
Nice and nice.
Oh, you already did. I'm sorry. 15. Yeah, that is enough. You sort of urge the ship, make this hard turn. You watch as the crew grips as it nearly go 45 degrees, but you hear the crash of that wave behind you, feel the splash on it, but it only wets your hair. You manage to bring the ship out of it without taking any damage. You feel the ship rocking more and more. You can see another wave crashing around you, and another one that seems to go the opposite direction. You feel like the ship is almost caught in this weird riptide, and you feel like you're being pulled away from the direction you're trying to aim at. You can see that there is actually starting to be this swirling area in the water. What are you doing?
Well, that's a problem.
Oh, you know what I have prepared? I don't know how powerful this is, but so what's the directions of these waves? Is it like two are coming at us and we're in some kind of like a whirlpool?
It kind of feels like it's pulling off sort of behind you and to the right, as if you're sort of being pulled in two directions at the same time.
What if I redirect the flow to make it so we're only going in one direction?
Oh, dang, that is exactly what this spell does.
Yeah.
Man, Julia, you used a water spell correctly.
Woo! Imagine that!
I think that is the first time between Dawn and Musoka that you've done that in the campaign.
Which is crazy, because, Musoka's kind of a water person, you know?
So, you feel the ship starting to be pulled back, feel the helm starting to get away from you, Bijutsu. But then you look up, silhouetted, as there's a crash of lightning in the sky. Musoka, arms outraised, to feel suddenly the wheel go slack as the water seems to push you away from this area and out. You feel the ship still bouncing around.
Whoa.
And how long does the spell last? 10 minutes. So you feel like with Musoka leading you, like you're having an easier time of it, getting your bearings a little bit more. But as 5, 6, 7, 8, and finally 10 minutes pass, Musoka, you put down your arms, panting, not able to sustain the spell any longer. As you can still hear the wind howling around you, still see the waves crashing as you're starting to, Bijutsu, be able to time when there is this swirl, this swell of water before it dips down, and a swell, and it dips down. And then a swell as you see almost a trench in the ocean starting to yawn out ahead of you. What are you doing?
Where is this trench relative? Where is the so-called trench in relation to us?
It seems like it's sort of in the waves, probably about 100 feet ahead of you now. And it's sort of these waves have been coming and you've been able to deal with this, but this trench seems deeper. You know, it's almost like you'd be going nearly vertically down into a valley.
Oh,
You know, you could try to press forward and like actually try to bullet the ship through the next wave. You could try to turn and avoid it.
Well, turning and avoiding is the easiest thing to do.
That's what I feel, yeah.
Unless Misaka could use the spell again, but...
You know what? This is kind of horrifying. You think I should use a spell again? Or...
Well...
Because, like, I mean, we're gonna plummet if we fail this one. Feels like a good control water usage.
I will say, this one seems like it'll be a lot trickier to turn and avoid than the last one was.
Oh, interesting.
Because
Yeah,
it's kind of like a full, long trench.
Yeah, you see, we could turn to avoid it, but that could just as easily suck us right in there, and I would rather not have to fish all of us out of the stupid ocean.
So what if we combine the turning with the control water spell?
Or we can combine the hopping over the trench with the water spell. Like, I can jet us.
What if we all tied ourselves to the ship again?
Could you flood the trench? Because that's something you can do.
Is it?
You can elevate the water level, so maybe you could fill the trench.
Can I do that?
Yeah, that's a thing you can do with that spell.
Woo! Alright, I will... Yeah, I'm gonna cast it again. And then, yeah, I'll fill up the trench in that way.
All right. Musoka, you concentrate. You start filling the trench, seeing it get shallower, but it still looks like it may present some problem. It definitely looks like it'll be easier to deal with than it was. Bijutsu, what are you doing?
All right then, we've made the path. Get through this. Get through this. Fuck, 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 fuck.
Brace yourselves. This is gonna hurt.
We're going
All
straight
right,
through.
Bijutsu, what are you doing? What's the ship gonna do? Straight on through here, turn.
Straight on through.
All right. Bijutsu, make a seafaring. And I'm going to go ahead and give you advantage on this since Musoka's spell is helping you.
Oh!
Beautiful. Bijutsu, you sort of heave to. You call back as Mizuki feeds more power, a little bit more power to the engine as you all feel your stomachs lurch into your throats as the ship dips down in the waves, as you see the next one starting to come over you as you are on the top of this elevated trench. You just practically dive through it, which luckily at its crest, it's a lot thinner, less imposing than it actually looks. As you are all soaked in this moment, you feel the ship practically airborne for a second before you feel it crash back onto the waves. Which is when you see something else, another dark shape. Is this a swell in the waves? And then you see this claw about as big around as a fattened ox rising up from the water and trying to swing itself around towards the ship.
Oh, for heavens.
Oh, dang, that was a critical hit.
Oh! No!
And you feel this. Can hear wood crack. Feel yourselves rocked back and forth. We've established that Musoka, Bijutsu, and Jin are all on the deck right now, and Peyton. So I need the four of you to make dexterity saving throws for me.
Oh, goddamn. Goddamn.
No.
Okay. Oof. No.
Oh, okay.
Oh!
No, not the blizzard.
They got water breathing!
Yeah, you all watch as as the ship takes this hit, and you feel some of the wood splinter, you just watch as your wizard whoop, goes off onto the side, though you did already successfully cast water breathing, luckily enough, and boom, is lost in the waves.
Crap! No! Ugh! We gotta go! We gotta get away from whatever the fuck this thing is!
And you can see indeed this large shape again in the water. It looks like by this point you've gotten past the worst of the storm. Mizuki says, I can rev up. I'm not doing a voice for Mizuki. You do voices for Mizuki. But Mizuki tells you that she can rev up, feed pull power to the chi engine now. And that'll get you away from this Kami, but who knows what'll happen to Peyton.
Rosaka, can you talk to it? You said you could do that.
Yes! Hold on, I'll try! I sprint up to the side of the boat, and do I see this Kami?
You sort of see its claw, and you definitely see its dark shape beneath the waves. Right now it's retreated a little bit away from the ship. It's actually, maybe about 80 feet off, and it's sort of looks like it's not sure yet whether again it's going to come in for another attack or not.
God, what should I say to this thing? Okay. I think, I'll say... We mean no harm to you, just let us pass through!
Alright, roll, as you call this out, roll persuasion or animal handling.
What's my animal handling?
It's not going to be the easiest check.
Alright.
Yeah, you call this out into the water, but it does not seem to be listening or just having any sort of response to this. And you can see this claws dip down again and look like, as you see these segmented legs below, as if it's going to try to swim towards you again.
Can I use control water to try to like is it still active right now? Since the
Sure, yeah, I'll say it's still active.
Can I try to use control water to like push it away as it's like coming towards us?
Yeah, I think there's even a specific thing for that it needs to make a strength saving throw or something.
Whirlpool, I think.
Yeah, we'll say it's
yeah.
the same as Whirlpool, that it needs to make an athletics check against your spell save DC. So you start pushing this water away from the ship towards this creature. So your spell save DC is 17, and it will make an athletics check.
Alright, brother.
Damn. It's made 2 rolls, and both of them have been crits.
Fuck you!
You watch as this thing is just cutting through the water without any regard for your spell.
What does it look like from my end?
From your end, you are sort of in the water. You, for a second, have been struggling to get yourself up above the surface, and you remember, oh yeah, you have water breathing, but you still kind of feel yourself being tossed around. You're beneath, you can see the hulk of the ship, the sort of shadow above, and then you can see this shadow that is just as large, if not even maybe slightly larger, of a great crab thing, maybe 150, 200 feet off from where you are.
Oh. Okay. How far away did you say the ship was from me?
From where you are, let's say maybe 50 feet.
Okay. But I have another plan. I just have to find the spell feature thing again.
Are you going to give a spell a range of a mile?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to find the feature. I'm well acquainted with it.
Yeah, but I need to use a spell slot, and I always forget which one it is.
Okay.
So I use a second level spell slot to increase the range of polymorph from 60 feet to a mile, and I'll turn the giant crab I'll try to turn the giant crab into a normal crab.
Okay, what is the saving throw for that? It makes a wisdom saving throw. All right. So wisdom is not great.
Swear to God. Okay.
Okay.
Beautiful. So what do you turn it into?
Just a normal crab. You know, it's
Yeah.
black crab, so it turns into just like a tiny crab.
Yeah, you are watching Musuka, looking for that crab on the water when suddenly you don't see it anymore. You squint, and then you think you see this tiny shape of a little crab being bobbed around in this storm.
Uh, what the hell? Did it just?
And now I'd like to try to use my dimension door to get up on the ship again.
All right. Yeah, you are. Bijutsu, Mizuki is calling out to you whether or not she should overclock the engine and get you out of here as fast as you can or not. It looks like the worst of the storm is behind you, but you don't know about that crab when suddenly, boof, you see a soaked Peyton appear on the deck once more.
Okay, you're
Oh.
good. You're good.
Oh my god!
Alright then, now we can book it.
Would you like to secure the wizard before?
Yes, please secure the wizard.
Yes, I would like to be tied to a mast, please.
Okay.
So you tie Peyton down as you feel more power being fed to the static engine and feel a little bit more force under your feet as the ship continues on, leaving this transmogrified Kami behind. And eventually, it seems that the storm starts to lessen. So all you see are gray clouds in the sky. You go back to the ship's compass, trying to navigate after what ended up being about 2 hours caught in this horrific storm. But as you go to it, all you can see is that the needle is slowly spinning, never stopping, never showing which way is north.
Fuck.
Did the compass break?
It looks like some of the rumors about the geography around here being bullshit are to be believed. We'll have to find another way to navigate around.
Yeah, is it overcast? Can we like see the sun or anything?
Yeah, it's still overcast, and it is rapidly coming up on night. As you look up, after about another hour, the clouds start to break up. You start to see more of the sky, but it's odd. You can't see as many stars as you'd expect to see. And the ones that you do see, you're not able to identify.
Oh, that's weird. Can Fukuro use his Tinker's tools to check the compass to see if there's something affecting it mechanically?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
What skill should I use for that?
Intelligence or wisdom.
Wow, that's horrible.
Well, it's still enough as you kind of take off the glass cover, start to examine it, to tell nothing about the compass seems broken. You're pretty confident that whatever is causing this is something from without. Nothing wrong with the compass itself.
Fascinating. I've never seen anything like this. Do you suppose there might be some sort of disruption to the magnetic field?
Well, that would seem to be the most obvious explanation, though I don't know whatever the hell might be causing that.
Yes, and then there's the stars. That's interesting. I'm not entirely sure how to. And he just sort of begins scribbling down theories, doing math or something.
While he's tied up.
I just imagined I was tied by the waist, not literally like I was a criminal.
Yeah, and by now, it seems like you've fully gotten past the storm.
I guess Shiriku comes up from underneath. Because he was probably down there.
And
Do you require untying?
it's just everything about this the sea is weird. I mean, how are the stars not like I've never seen that constellation before.
Well, they do say the Tengu tetrahedron. Well, it is famous or infamous for a reason.
I guess what this is why all the boats get lost, but
You know what?
So
I just had a thought.
Mhm.
Fukuro takes out his spyglass and looks in the direction that we came from. And is there any place in that direction that he can see that does not look like there's a storm there?
You look back, and yeah, it's difficult. You can sort of see these gray storm clouds that seem to extend down to the surface of the water, can occasionally see flashes of lightning within them. You don't see land past that. Looks like a pretty big storm. You're not sure how you'd even sail around it.
hey Fukuro, if you look the other way, do you see any other land masses in the distance?
What, like towards the tetrahedron?
Yes.
Sure, Fukuro swings around the other side.
Make a perception check with advantage.
Neon.
Wow.
Okay.
no.
It
Sepluck.
is not getting that.
Impressive. You look
Most
out,
impressive.
but with night coming upon you, these dark waters lapping, it's difficult to really make out anything. You're not even sure if you're still going the right direction or not.
Good.
It's just sort of a silly thing, but I imagine just for the funsies, Peyton is still tied up by the waist, but while he's scribbling, he's walking in a circle to think,
Like around
and
a pole.
so slowly but surely he walks the entire length of the rope around the pole, and he's sort of jolted back.
You'll need a little help out of that?
Yes. I was just lost in thought. And so it's not our constellations, but would I know of any other constellations from like other places of like parts of the world that I could compare to, maybe like that I've heard about?
I'll let you roll a history or an arcana check.
Meanwhile, Musoka unties him.
Yeah, as you're looking up at these stars, it doesn't quite gel with anything you've read up on with any star charts that you've looked at, but at the same time, you see, you're able to pick out like little, maybe even clusters of stars that do look sort of familiar, even if this little cluster is set apart from the ones around it that don't look quite familiar. It's an odd effect. You almost get the sense as if some of the stars are, I don't know, would have been hidden somehow.
That's odd.
Hmm. Wizard Dylan Cole taught the astrology course, so I know nothing about stars.
Does Peyton actually laugh at that?
Probably not a laugh, but more like a huh.
Well, yeah, what are we supposed to do now then? I mean, we can't just sail aimlessly.
How far above does it seem like the cloud cover is, or like the yeah?
How
that.
far above does it seem the what?
Like we can't see like the
Oh, the cloud cover.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. It seems like you're kind of coming out of the cloud cover. It seems to be breaking up, unless it's some kind of invisible clouds. But I don't know if you're thinking of teleporting yourself a mile up, but you'd probably be above the clouds.
Well, what I was thinking of was turning myself into a bird and just having a peek.
Oh, yeah, you could do that. Yeah, it seems like the winds have actually died down quite a bit right now. And what you're also all starting to notice is that under your kind of heavy winter sea cloaks that you all probably have, if anything, you're starting to feel a little warm. Some of you even have a little bit of clammy sweat on the backs of your necks. Even though you're at a more northerly latitude than Horanu, if anything, it seems warmer, significantly warmer here.
Hmm. Yeah,
Systems overheating.
I'd like to turn into eagles have good eyesight, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So I'd like to like fly up very high and see if I can see something.
All right. So you watch as Peyton sort of jumps and then turns into a goddamn bird.
Where are you going?
So, as an eagle, you have a +4 to perception, but you have advantage on any perception checks that use your eyesight.
Okay, let me see. /roll 2d. Yeah, it would be 2d20 plus 4. Yeah.
Yeah, well, 2d20 and then add a 4 to whichever is the highest. So you fly up into the sky, enough where you think you've got a good perspective on things. And with a total of 19, you think you see something. You see this island off in the distance. But this doesn't make sense. That island seems to be about as level as you are as an eagle up in the clouds.
Oh.
And then as you continue flying around, maybe even fly a little closer to it, you realize that it is this cluster of rocks, of land, of several sort of like what must be huge shards that are actually floating hundreds of feet above the surface of the ocean. And you see what, from your distance, looks like maybe a thread tethering it down to something on the ocean. But you realize, just perspective wise, must be a huge chain. And then that's when you start to make out 3 more dark shapes sort of far out on the horizon. Well, maybe not 3. Maybe you're able to make out 2 of them. And you think you've spotted the proper direction for the Tango tetrahedron.
Okay. I'll fly down and say that.
A floating island.
Well, I'll be damned. At least one of the things in this freaky place is actually kinda cool.
Sky orphans are a thing in this world, right?
Who knows?
They are, but they haven't been seen in I think 100 years was when the last Sky Orphan died. It's sort of widely thought to not be a thing anymore.
I wonder if this is where all these Sky orphans went.
Well,
Fireworks.
I mean, maybe they might as well have disappeared into a magic bullshit space. Who knows?
I think they just died of old age.
Oh, the last one in the Lushankas died. Who knows if there were any here in the Tengu tetrahedron? As you experienced firsthand, communication probably isn't that easy.
Yes. Well, we saw a number of islands then. Which one should we head for? I guess is the question. Or should we stay out further away until daytime or something?
That's a good question.
It would seem
do
that getting
feel-
to the Sky Island might be difficult, obviously, unless there is some sort of mechanism at the chain.
I
do
doubt
have
we
a
need
soul.
to go there.
Yeah, look. If they have like some kind of like airships or something, then I'm pretty sure they would have. I'm pretty sure they would have been using that by now. So
Why do I hear angelic music?
Too angelic. I'll stop it.
No. Oh, okay, I get it.
I was wondering when this OST would come up.
No, I was gonna. Okay.
I was holding out for this music prep, but anyways.
That we're gonna get descended upon. Well, I think for now we should. I'm a little exhausted after that whole storm debacle. Maybe we should sleep and then approach it. What do you guys think?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that if any of you are like me, we still got a lot of frayed nerves from, well, that crazy ocean trip. I'd rather approach an unknown landmass with my right mind intact, or whatever's left of it anyway.
Yes, and with a ship that is not very damaged, because I don't know if you guys know this, but that one hit took out nearly a third of our health on that ship. We have 350 HP. It did 107 damage.
Right.
Would you mind if I spend some time repairing the ship?
Bijutsu just gives a thumbs up.
I think some of us should do that, not just Jin.
Well, my thing was... Oh wait, Mason's Tools works with stone structures, not what the ship is made of, from wood and stuff.
Yeah, that would be more carpentry.
That's fair.
But there are more tinkery elements to the ship, possibly.
Why not? Lend a hand where I can. Even if I don't get advantage with it.
So it seems that you guys are winding down for this evening, planning on doing more to conquer the tetrahedron itself in the morning. But before that, you're going to try a few things. So who is attempting to put in some effort to assess the damage, do what they can to help repair the ship?
I think Bijutsu probably would.
All right. So Bijutsu, I guess this would probably be a Tinker's Tools check, unless you have something that's more appropriate.
No, that probably makes the most sense.
Okay. And I was going to say, since you've got Jin helping you, you could roll that with advantage. All right.
very-
Well, Yeah, we'll keep the 20. So you head down to the hull, assess the damage. You can see that there's definitely still enough structural integrity here to still keep everything watertight, though there's definitely been some there's been some sustained trauma to the exterior planks. You don't really have too much to deal with that right now, but as you go back above, you can see where several of the instruments were sort of some of their calibration was knocked off, and you think that you can set these up to maybe compensate a little bit more for the damage. Not a ton, but enough with Jin helping you. You manage to fix up the ship for about 11 HP, which might not be much in the scope of things, but maybe you can keep working on it. Who knows?
I was going to say, Fukuro might try to find any smaller points of damage that he could use mending on.
All right, yeah, roll an investigation, Fukuro, to see if you can find anything that's sort of a small but complete piece that's been damaged. Yeah, you sort of scour the ship up and down. Maybe you're still exhausted from that storm. Who knows? You're not able to find anything that really seems quite appropriate for mending. Maybe you can try again later.
Can I Song of Rest the ship? Does it count as a friendly creature?
That's the worst thing, and I love it.
Can I soothe the ship?
I didn't realize that we had worsens here.
To be fair, I was going to ask if it counts as a construct, because I can heal constructs with cure wounds.
Listen, Shuriku hasn't been getting enough sleep. The ship is beginning to look like he's beginning to think of the ship as a friend. Just thinks that he might be able to soothe its wounds with song.
You start hugging the map.
Yeah, Fukuro, you pass Shiruku down on the quarterdeck, sort of trying to sing a lullaby to, which doesn't seem to be doing much, but it's kind of cute.
I think we might need to find a way to fix his brain faster.
Absolutely.
Can I have that Song of Rest as well? Not for, well, right now, but later.
What?
Yes?
You're
I don't know what you mean, but I can sing it again later.
Good. If possible, could you mimic it to sound like a bird? Birds are very soothing.
Oh, he likes birds.
I believe I can do that.
Birds.
Birds.
So, as Jin and Shiruku have this odd moment of bonding over birds, I want to ask, does anything else happen this evening?
Well, I think I would look at the group and just say, should I mean, the last time I tried to contact Lou II didn't go so well. Should I try it again?
Well, there are not many of the people I would think worth contacting. Well, worth perhaps, but more important.
I have a thing I want to do, which you'll decide if would be better before or after the dream thing.
Probably the dreams should come last.
Definitely.
Yeah, I if Musica will let me, I'd like to copy Fly from her spellbook.
Ooh. Go right ahead. Only if I could copy Polymorph from your spellbook.
Ah yes, the art of a trade.
It's like a trading card game.
How's this work again? We have to get rid of the spell to then add on a spell?
Yeah, you roll what was it? It's the level of the spell plus 1d20 minus your intelligence mod. Is that what it was, Peyton?
Each spell requires at least a number of pages equal to its level to fully transcribe, plus 1d20 minus your intelligence modifier. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, polymorph is a level what spell?
4.
Level 4. And so, Julia, go ahead and roll 1d20 and subtract.
1? Because it's a level
Yeah,
4 and
yeah,
there's
yeah.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Please. Fuck!
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
no, that's good. That's good.
It is?
Yeah, so it's going to at least use as many pages as the level of the spell, but that means
Oh.
that you're able to sort of over the next hours, you guys sort of trade spell books or open them up and sort of start annotating them next to each other. You're able to add that polymorph to your spell book using only 4 pages.
Oh, amazing.
Yes, you see that with a careful balance of runic flux, you are able to modify the bioarcanic energy signature and temporarily replace your own body with blah 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 technobabble.
Ah, I see. Okay.
And what's the level on fly?
Level 3.
Let's see, it was d20 minus intelligence modifier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then plus the level. So I think it's -2 for you. Nice.
2 plus 2, 4. 4 pages.
Yeah, 4 pages.
So you see, if you concentrate the oxygen around your body, then utilize the air runes to make a runic flux extend underneath you, then you'll be able to fly. Also,
Yes, I
providing
see.
I just realized Fukuro could totally get in on this because he's a infusion smith and they also have spellbooks.
eye emoji.
Nah. I don't have like I think he can only put level 1 spells in there right now anyway, so.
I get you.
So, wizards trade spells. Does anything else happen before y'all hit the hay?
I think.
Can actually hit.
Oh.
No, you go on because my idea is stupid.
Sure. I think Shuku might go up to Fukuro and have a bit of a conversation.
Hello there.
Fukuro. Well, once again we are heading to the edge of the world together, don't you think?
Yes, it seems to be a common occurrence these days.
Yes. Well, we certainly make a very good team. I don't think I've worked so closely with anyone for, well, many years.
And I haven't worked this closely for this long and this effectively with anybody since Subayai.
Yes, Subayai. We know he's in trouble, don't we?
Yeah, Fukuro got the letter.
I do hope that routing Changok, some way of helping him might be found. Who knows what? As Bijutsu like to say, a cult of bullshit. He is wrapped up in.
Oh. With any luck, it is simple as killing Changok. Though with things like this, it's never simple.
No, it is not simple.
But I'm currently more worried about you.
Well, that is understandable. I can't say I'm not worried about myself. I didn't tell you. Did you hear about what Osu offered?
Yes, I believe. I think you said that you guys explained everything afterwards, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yes, you could have become one of the Grey. I don't blame you for saying no, but at the same time, it could have saved your life.
I do know that, and well, I made that choice, knowing that well, I may not be able to kill myself otherwise. So, well, Fukuro, I just want you to. I just want to have this conversation about, well, how much of a good friend you are. In case that I don't, well, I can't stay sane, stay alive, whatever the side effects of this are, for the remainder of the mission.
Hmm. There is one plan I've been considering. Oh no, it's not almost crazy, it's insane. But if you do go insane, I may have a way to give you a, what is it the Westerners say, a reset on all that.
That you have to wait until I go insane to help?
I would prefer it not to happen at all, but if you do go insane and this needs to happen, then it can happen. Though it's very risky. Some might say dumb. You remember Worsen, the bard who was traveling with Alcana and Logi? It is something he would probably think of.
Well, I don't think I've ever met him, but I've definitely heard of him.
If you are too far gone, I believe we could kill you and bring you back to life.
I mean, Shuriku just doesn't. His face just goes like, what?
I told you it was insane, didn't I?
I was not expecting. I was not expecting that.
And it also means that if you do die, we could probably resuscitate you.
Well, whatever happens, if I do die, then I guess do whatever you want to do. I suppose I will be dead at the time, so I don't mind.
I hear that there is a Western magic that allows one to revive a person by using diamonds, expensive diamonds, and I happen to have a pair right here.
But did you learn this technique in the West?
Of course not. It's reserved to their priests.
Well, Fukuro, I don't know if you noticed, but we don't have a priest.
No, we don't.
So
I'm actually kind of expecting, or not expecting, I'm kind of banking, as the Westerners would say, on there being priests in the Tengu Tetrahedron.
So, no offense, Fukuro, but your backup plan to potentially help me is to wait until after I'm dead, hope you'll find a priest, and then bring me back to life. Well, I mean,
Well-
it is fine. If anyone could do it, you could, I suppose.
My point was that you don't have to worry about dying.
That is an interesting thing to say.
Well, where we're going, I believe it is a very valid worry.
Well, I mean, just telling someone
For-
to not to worry about dying, that is a bit of an interesting thing to say. Most people worry about dying.
Most people do. Though some more than others, and some it's more appropriate. Like for us, sailing to some place that none of us even know a damn thing about. If you think about it, this is even crazier than Hanto.
Well, in different ways.
I told the crew everything that you're doing here, but honestly, Shuriku, I don't think we have a chance in hell of succeeding.
Well, we need to find the dragon's fate. That is the... Well, that is seems to be the center point of their of everything that's been happening.
Yes, if we do find the dragon's feet, what then? We could go up on board, though all of us obviously cannot. The only person here who would even be able to fake it, as they say, would be you.
I do have some confidence in that, actually. I think I will be able to help with that. But, well, the dragon's fate, I hear, is a very... It has a lot of visitors. And I believe none of our enemy knows the... what our ship looks like. I don't think this ship has ever been engaged against Jangok's forces. And we could...
I don't think this ship has ever seen the outside of a dock, a closed-off dock, until we took it to Hanto.
So it is not unusual for the Fate to get visitors. So we can lower the flags if... I don't know if we're having flags. Or maybe... Actually, it would be stupid for us to have flags. We don't have flags. But if we did have flags, we would lower them. But yes, we could attempt to board the Dragon's Fate. And we know it is near... what did Emiko say? One of the islands?
Something about glass?
That does sound familiar, yes.
And actually, as you have this thought, Fukuro, you sort of pull up the crumpled map you were given. Very sort of makeshift, not a lot of details, but the islands are at least labeled, and you can see Panshan, Reriori, and the Islands of Glass.
Yes, this one. Supposedly, Changok is going here to meet either his mother or his sister, who is in Oracle.
Well, and I think I remember that the Dragon's Fate was at least docked nearby. That is a lead to go on at the very least.
And you said that we believe Amanda Henna would be meeting Changok there, or somebody with that last name anyway.
That is something I am not entirely sure of. Because, well, Amina, as far as I could tell, seemed to be genuinely not working with Changok. I mean, she is a very good liar.
Yes. Of course, that was her job for a while. But, back to what you were saying. You've been a good friend too, sure, and I'm not quite ready to give up on you just yet.
Well, thank you.
Yes, Rom, we are on a ship. Very good.
Just want to remind you, in case you forgot. Sorry.
Well, I have already sent a letter to my family. My affairs are in order, so to say. I am just prepared to see what happens.
And as you both sort of nod, facing down this mortality, unsure how inevitable it is, eventually, Fukuro, you feel sleep start to pull at your eyelids. Shiriku, you don't feel that as much.
And
Shall we, Oh, go ahead.
Oh, just one small thing. As promised, Shuriku finds Jinroy and sings him a song of rest As I suppose, as the two sleepless people, they keep watch on the deck.
Yes, and Shiraku sings to the golem. Jin, do you do anything in your low power state?
Well, I was briefly thinking to use up like aid, but then I realized, wait, that's like that'll be gone with the after the long rest. So, no, nothing but listen to the very charming bird singer.
Those hip musical stylings.
Yes, and he can perfectly mimic a bird. So
Oh, hey, that's true. Yeah, sounds like you've got a little convocation of birds out on the top deck. Meanwhile, Musoka, you are dreaming?
I'm dreaming. To Lou the Second. Uh-oh.
So, Musoka, as you close your eyes, try to reach out to young Lou. You feel yourself in a very different landscape. Everything dark. You can't even see clearly, only dim shapes around, and you feel dust choking your lungs, scratchy. You can barely open your eyes, and when you do, there's barely anything, barely any definition. You don't see Lou, at least not at first blush.
Using dream, can I try to, like I'm assuming this is kind of like a smoky area. Can I try to push the smoke away? Try to clear everything?
Trying to sort of shape this dream, usually easier for you when you enter someone's dream to try to start to shape it, but this time it pushes back much more aggressively. I want you to go ahead and make an intelligence check.
Okay.
Oh, very nice. You try to shape it and you push back this darkness and this dust. You feel yourself breathing a little bit more easily. And you think you can see this very expensive looking, sort of oversized, crushed velvet divan, and the form of Lou just sort of sitting into it, sunk deep into the cushions. Feel like in this moment you have a little bit more control over the dream.
Oh, he's in the same position. Okay. I walk up to him. Lou?
Doesn't respond to you.
He's sunk into these cushions, and the thing around him is broken?
It seems like you look away from where he is, and you can see that that this crushed velvet divan is sort of sitting on a piece of what looks like very elaborate wood parquetry that very quickly just sort of fades into this, you're not sure, this indistinct darkness. Indeed, everything apart from Lou is just sort of these shapes that don't quite make sense, that don't have any definition, as if this whole place is not fully formed.
It visited you earlier. Lou, I'm gonna try to bend down and gonna try to touch his arm. Maybe shake at him.
Pick up his arm, give it one tentative shake, and he doesn't respond. You think that maybe you could try a little bit harder to grab his attention, but you're not sure what the outcome and or consequences would be.
I noticed that he was acting weird when he was sitting in this strange cushion. I'm gonna try to wrap his arm around my shoulder and pull him away from it.
All right. You wrap your arm around his shoulder and just start to try to physically maneuver him out of this chair. Roll athletics or acrobatics.
Oh man, no, those are good.
Actually managed to sort of squeeze between him and the chair and start to lift him up out of it. And he kind of, as he breaks contact, you hear him finally make a sound, just sort of a grunt.
Lou, can you hear me?
Yeah, what do you want?
Hey, Can I roll insight on him?
Sure.
I guess I'm trying to find like, is he kind of in the same state as he was before, or is he
Yeah,
more?
yeah. He's definitely in that same state. If anything, just it's grown worse. It seems, yeah, less that he's, in a state of control or, um, and more that it's just this intense lethargy and just kind of cynicism has settled over him.
Oh, Lou, where are you?
I was sitting down.
But are you on a boat? Are you?
Now you got me on your jank ass shoulder, probably all slimy and gross.
Not slimy. Come on, you think I look slimy? Just trying to joke around with him. Come on. Don't be so grumpy. Hey, I know whatever is influencing you right now is tough, but try to push past it, okay? I need you to talk to me. Remember, I'm your dream buddy.
Yeah, more like my cringe buddy.
Not even. Listen, if you want me to go away, just tell me where you are. In real life.
Roll a persuasion check.
Nice. Let's go.
Yeah. It's. They don't talk to me a lot. There's usually this tiger rider. I don't know who she is. I do know, but I don't know. I've heard them call her. He sort of looks like he's searching for the name, as if it's somewhere deep in a set of misorganized notes. I hear them call her Moonshadow.
Moonshadow.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cringe name. Am I using that word right? I know what cringe means.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cringe.
Well, is she in charge? Is she talking to you a lot? What's up with her?
No, she just, makes sure I'm not alone. They don't want me alone. No, there's another room next to me. And that's where the other tiger rider, I think they call him Star Shadow. He stays there. That's where Sayaka is, but I haven't actually met her.
Sayaka.
Yeah, I've only heard about her. She seems like she's probably pretty sketch.
So, wait, real fast, remind Julia. Sayaka is. No, I'm thinking of Sakota. Okay, never mind.
Well, Sayaka.
Wait.
Uh,
Do I recognize Sayaka? Because that sounds familiar.
yeah, she's Changok's fiance,
Yeah.
isn't she? Or is that the other one with the very
Yeah,
similar name?
yeah, that's it.
Right. Yes.
And
Emiko's
it was
girlfriend.
Yeah.
ex-girlfriend.
Right. Okay.
Not her aunt with an incredibly similar name. Sayasa.
Huh. Yeah. That's what I was thinking of. So, interesting. This Sayaka, is she being kept in the same state as you? Like, do you? Obviously, you wake up. How do you feel when you wake up? Froggy?
I don't know. Don't want to do anything.
Right. They're probably doing the same to Sayak. Okay. Well, do you remember switching boats? Are you still on the Grief's Rise?
Where I don't know. There's a bigger boat.
What does it look like?
It's all gray. Real ugly.
Is it a party boat?
Maybe. I don't know.
Interesting. But you said you just saw that boat. You're not on it, right?
Oh, next to it.
You're next to it.
Sayaka goes on that boat.
Oh.
I don't go on that boat.
Trying to think of what else I could ask. Well, hey, I'm glad you're still safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, well, listen, try your best to get the name of that boat, okay?
Whatever, okay.
Okay.
Look, are we done?
Maybe, because thing is, when I dream you again, if you don't get the name of that boat, I'm gonna be staying with you even longer, and it'll be very annoying.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, hey, by the way, have they hurt you? Have they, anything else?
No, don't do anything.
They don't do anything. Well, hey, you're gonna be out of that situation soon, alright?
Kind of grunts at you in response.
Really? I'm serious. I'll see you soon, okay?
Yeah, do what you want.
Kind of shakes her, or scratches her head and just, poof, goes away.
Go away. And you wake up to morning coming upon you. The others are able to find their way back up onto the deck. You can catch a better view of the islands coming into sight around you. Can see far off in the distance, sort of shaded in that kind of blue purple of of something far off on the horizon line, this great floating island. You can see that there are these two other islands to your right, to your left. Feel a bit of sea spray on the otherwise warmish waters. You suddenly hear a couple of splashes somewhere off to starboard. Your eyes look that direction and you see some kind of a huge serpent of some kind. You assume some kind of a kami briefly breach the water and then dive down. And then when it breaches it again, you notice there's a figure on its back. What looks like this minotaur in a flowing cloak. This sort of gives half a glance over towards you before it dives beneath the water again and does not seem to surface, out of sight. As you hear that chi of the engine start up again, can hear the sound of it revolving. Bijutsu, you take your spot at the helm. Start guiding the ship towards who knows where, your next destination here within the Tango Tetrahedron. And with that, let's go ahead and take a quick break. Onto the scene. You are all in these relatively calm waters. The storm now far behind you. No longer needing your cloaks. It's certainly not summery, not tropical, but it does not feel at all like the dead of winter at the latitude you're supposedly at. Checking your instruments, they still don't seem to be any good. The needle of your compass still slowly spinning. But your engine is fully recharged, ready to go. What are you doing?
How we can get more properly into this. Wait, what the fuck are we even calling this?
Fascinating.
We're getting right into this fascinating, then.
Cracked his head. Oh, by the way, I think
Out of curiosity, how far is it from the like the railing to the surface of the ocean? Like, could you reach out a hand and touch the water, or how tall?
Yeah, probably you're sitting higher than that. It's probably, about maybe around 3 meters to the ocean surface.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, and Shiraku, roll a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy.
Oh dear.
All right, you are still only at 1 level of exhaustion. You're managing to hold yourself together surprisingly well.
But I assume I lose the benefit of my 20 from last time?
Yeah.
Okay. And Shruku just stretches a bit. Well, I am feeling alright today.
Are you sure?
Well, I don't feel like I'm that sleepy.
If you so desire, I may, for a small price of 25 gold worth of silver powder, may impart on you community service.
What?
What?
It is a
What do
It
you mean
is
by
a
community service?
type of ceremony that has been inscribed into my core.
What does it do?
There are many things which it may do, one of which is to show that the... How do I phrase this? It's hard doing a robot voice all the time. Okay.
Going, I like it.
One of which is the blessing of a coming of age which assists you whenever you must make use of any of your abilities for the next 24 hours.
I don't know if I'm coming of age.
That is merely the name given to this procedure.
So what you're saying is that it'll give you some kind of a advantage.
That is correct.
Well, if we find some silver, we'll keep that in mind, I suppose.
This may also be performed at a ritual. However, I am uncertain if performing at a ritual drains the cost or not. I'm just saying that in character, but out of character, like ceremony requires you pay up the powdered silver.
Yeah, ceremony
even
is actually one of those weird spells that's only castable as a ritual, and so yeah, it always uses up materials.
Yeah, fair
So
enough.
in order to do it as a ritual, we need also the materials.
Yes.
What did you say we need? Silver powder?
Let me show the card. Yes, silver powder.
Oh.
So, I'm not sure Shiruku is a young adult. Actually, I think he's definitely not a young adult.
You're
What?
young to my
Which
eyes.
one are you using on him?
The coming of age.
Well,
That's the same one that Joachim used on Alistair's.
oh. Well, yes, that's the thing.
Okay.
Well,
Hmm.
that's an interesting question, isn't it? Because what counts as young adult? Isn't that sort of culturally determined?
How old
I mean-
is Shiroku?
Alistair was 30 at the time.
Yeah, and that technically counted, like, even for Joachim, who was like, I don't know, 30 something. But even if that doesn't work, like, I still have, dedication, which is basically the same for saving throws, and you might need it.
And Shiroku
Yeah,
is the...
Yeah.
I'll just say, without getting into the fiction of this, I don't consider you needing ceremony to strictly follow, young adult getting married or any of that. You can change the flavor of the fiction however you want to justify, what this is that you're casting on them. Besides, Jin's not invoking any god. This is some weird thing that his chi core can do.
The only god that Jin is invoking is Rond, the GM, so...
The only god that
And-
Jin invokes is Jin.
Ooh.
Can the spell only work if, designed by Shosho, if the victim
Not necessarily
has
about
a-
Shosho.
No, but hey, what if the person you cast on has a beautiful mustache?
It doesn't alter your appearance. If it would be.
No, I'm saying instead of being a young adult, you just have to have a beautiful mustache in order to...
Ah, yes.
think about
Jin
it.
carries around a mustache that he attaches to people before casting this spell, of course.
This
Even
one
though-
is correct.
And he attaches the mustache to the women especially.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
Was there a
carry
dwarf?
on.
Anyway, well, don't worry about me for now. I think let's focus on the task at hand.
You're telling him to
If
save
you
it?
say so.
Pardon, Musaka?
I just asked, you're telling him to save it for now?
Really, we don't have any powdered silver. So
Yeah.
just keep it in mind, it's not important right at this moment. Anyway, so from our intel, from dreaming, we believe that the island of Glass is where the dragon's fate is docked near.
And according to this map, it's the one that's... well, whatever the fuck northeast is here.
Well, it's
And-
yeah.
And have we ever had any kind of description of the dragon's fates? Because, well, all Lou told me was that he was next to a huge ship that was just gray and boring looking. Would that possibly be the dragon's fate?
I mean, if I was doing shady shit, I wouldn't want the boat to look too conspicuous, but maybe that's just me.
True. You wouldn't want a giant dragon in the front and a giant sign on the side saying, "Oh, this is the dragon's fate," in big colors. So maybe you're right.
I mean, fuck if I know. Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, I say we go towards the island of glass then, huh?
Sounds like a plan.
Sorry for the interruption. Ron, you said that Fukuro and Shiroku know how the dragon's fate looks like earlier from their observations, or
No,
I don't think so.
We've heard of it.
I think,
really?
yeah, didn't Musaka get some info on it, looks like, from Leo?
Yeah.
Well, that's...
Well, yeah, so you don't know for sure if that's the dragon's fate or not. But
Yes.
yeah,
Alright.
you did hear a description of a very large, very plain, ugly gray ship.
Yep, that's probably it.
Alright
Maybe.
then, carry on.
And that island in the middle, that's the floating island, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. But the other islands that we see in the distance, they're not floating.
Nope, nope. Regular old islands.
Regular old islands.
And yeah, Fukuro is able to easily enough cross-reference it to his map. That must be Panshan, that must be the Island of Glass.
And which island was the ox head riding a sea serpent thing? Which island was that towards?
You weren't really sure, you know? You're far enough away from an island, you wouldn't be able to tell exactly what direction he's heading. You just sort of saw that ox head broach the surface of the water and then dive back down.
Well, I think we should head for the island of glass. But, well, we should try and make the ship as inconspicuous as possible. Make ourselves look like smugglers or something. Someone who would want to board the Dragon's Fate. It is a known criminal site, after all.
And, well, since Liu is on a ship, he told me that he basically hasn't left it, so... Makes life a little easier. At least we don't have to, go on the island itself. We just have to look for his ship.
I have a question. So the Vanguard uniform that all our people are wearing.
Yeah.
So it's the lacquer armor sort of thing. Is that distinctly Haranu, or is that more of a widespread thing where they could get away with saying they're not Vanguard?
It's pretty distinct.
Right. Maybe we shouldn't have all of our crew, or at least the ones working on deck, in full Vanguard uniform.
That's a good idea.
And well, let's see. The only people that Changok knows what they look like is me and Fukuro. The rest of you were wearing masks when we found him, so he has no idea what you look like.
Was I wearing a mask? Yeah, I'm sure I put on my mask before I ran outside, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if that wasn't part of the fiction, you would have been coughing up a storm, so yeah, we'll say you had your mask.
Right.
Yeah, and I think those masks obscure enough of the face that Changok probably didn't get a good view of anyone.
Okay, so maybe you two should hide below deck a little bit. At least stay out of view. But does everyone have a change of clothes? She's gonna call this out and just look at everybody on the ship.
Yeah, it's easy enough to claim that everyone has at least one change of clothes.
Yeah. So we're gonna be circling the island for a bit, but obviously we can't have anyone seeing you lot in Vanguard armor, so...
Yeah, easy enough to arrange kind of, a skeleton crew to do the whatever extra manning you need, and none of them invisible armor.
Mhm.
Get that all set.
A slight issue. Well, there is, Jin, who is modeled after the Vanguard, and kind of fought Chang'ok briefly, so it just instinctively go below ship as well.
Okay, yeah, you too.
Oh yeah. And let's see.
Cool.
And I guess Shuruku, as probably the master of disguise, takes out one of his many pieces of clothing. Let's see. What clothes should he wear? He's gonna wear his merchant clothes today, and using this whole thing. Yes, he's going to become a different identity as much as he can.
All right, yeah, you arrange your outfit, kind of adjust your posture, your speaking patterns, your whole bearing, and you feel at first glance, even to those who know you, as if you're someone completely different.
Hilda puts on her pajamas.
So you all change into your battle ready, i.e., completely inconspicuous clothing as you start your approach. So you guys should have control of that cute little boat on the map there. So I believe you have about 160 miles worth of travel capability today. So why don't you show me where that boat heads, what its approach is? Look at all those rays.
Do I remember if Lou ever described what the boat looks like that he's on? Like if it has some kind of a mass color. I forget.
He didn't describe much of what it looked like.
Nah, just the name, I'm pretty sure.
And I think maybe we should try and just circumnavigate the island of glass. Don't you think?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Good place to start.
And I mean, if we see
Couple
the dragon's
arrows.
fate, it's probably fairly distinct because it's huge,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got a village surrounding it apparently.
And if it has that, then well, I do like what Bijutsu just drew out, or was that Leighton where we just went like kind of
That was
clockwise around the island?
That was me.
That was you.
That was Sep.
Sorry, all the blue colors.
Yeah, we could circle the whole island in about a day's worth, which is 8 hours, and maybe about a third. It's 20 miles per hour. It was 220, so 11 hours. So yeah.
We do need a good ending point though. Like we can't be too close to the island when we run out of gas.
It's less run off of gas and more like, for claim ending for the day at least.
Yeah, definitely. I just wish you had some kind of like I don't have a good spell to like kind of cover the boat. You know what I mean? Like I think Peyton has one thing that'll help us for 10 minutes, but that's it. Oh wait, do I have this? Hold on. No, never mind.
Well,
Here,
how
Image,
about
just
we
get
just
more.
start by going along the south coast and see if we see anything.
South Coast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so where does the ship head to first?
I say we make a path that's like so, like we kind of like parallel the island a little bit. Maybe Fukuro uses his spyglass, like peeks his head over very tinily.
Yeah, you'd probably need to circle it a good deal closer than that, but
In that case.
yeah. But I will say, I am deliberately asking you for where it's heading first rather than what is your whole path.
Right. How about then? I mean, how about we just do this, really?
Just beeline to it.
Well, and pass this small island on the way there. Shurikura can just look out the window And
Yeah.
and at least that's the first step, at the very least.
All right, so yeah, 55 miles to where those two lines are. You guys should be able to move the ship, I believe.
Wee.
All right, and Fukuro, why don't you go ahead and make a perception check with advantage? So, Fukuro, as you pass that small island, you pop up your spyglass. It looks like it's just sort of barren rock, no sign of any sort of civilization there. As you start to come closer to the island, you can see more that it is it's clearly volcanic. The whole thing is full of these pitted pumice rocks, very dark. And what's more striking is that you come close to it, you almost squint as you put the spyglass up to your eye because you're getting all of these weird reflections. It takes you a second before you realize that there are all of these shards just sticking up out of the water, sort of onto the volcanic shore. Of what you put together is obsidian, is volcanic glass reflecting the sun. It's very strange. You've never seen a landscape quite like this, or really a seascape. Looking through the and surveying the coast, it's hard to see past all of these sort of rocky outlying islands and all of these just blade-like giant shards, most of them 10 to 20 feet tall of obsidian, how you could sail the ship closer.
Is obsidian like a rare material in the Wushankos?
Not super rare. This isn't like an island of diamond.
That's disappointing. I'd really like that. Wow, obsidian. A lot of it, and it reflects the sun.
That would explain the name.
I didn't think it was gonna be literal though. Wow.
Sometimes
Interesting.
you don't need to think too hard about it.
Well, that
Like,
being
if
said,
you would want to hang around this place to hide, though, it's hard enough to get a visual on anything.
I suppose that might be how the temperature is so abnormal here. We've just seen evidence of volcanic activity.
yes, I do believe it might be that there is a giant volcano below these islands.
Of course there is!
There was also one on Hanto, and that didn't change the climate. Well, it did, but it didn't make it all warm.
Then I suspect that this volcano is just that much bigger.
I really don't want to deal with ash anymore.
I will say, I think this is large enough that even at a pretty considerable distance, you think you can still make out what looks like some kind of a cinder cone miles away towards the center of the island. Right there.
Oh, I spoke too soon. There is a volcano on the island.
Well, that only makes sense. Obsidian is volcanic glass.
That it is. It's also something that's going to make it very hard for me to see onto the island, and also very hard to sail near it without being obvious.
Well, keep out a good look ahead of us. We don't want to cut the ship open.
Yeah, that would kinda ruin my day.
We know Emiko was on this island, so there must be something to see. If there is a port, well, that is probably quite visible. It's going to be on the ocean, and well, people are always going to congregate towards a safer harbor.
But do we go north or south from here?
Well, I think that's... Well, I think if there is a port or a settlement, it is probably closer to the other two islands. to facilitate trade or transportation?
That would make sense.
Unless, unless the only safe place to land is on the north.
I agree. I mean, for now we're just spotting the island. I don't think we're making any moves to go close.
I wonder if it's active.
The volcano?
And almost as if in answer to that, you hear kind of a low rumble somewhere in the distance, and you see it, not an eruption, but you see this sort of just a plume of black smoke come out of the top.
Oh.
And it seems to linger, this trail, in the sky for maybe about an hour as you continue to edge the ship along the coast before kind of dissipating, almost as if it were a belch from this volcano.
I suppose it would be sensible for them to not settle downwind from that.
So you're moving over there next?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, along the south coast, unless anyone has anything to say.
That sounds like a good plan.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Move that ship.
Just doing this, basically.
Yeah.
To here, I guess, is the next technical stopping point.
All right. Fukuro, make another perception check with advantage.
Nice.
So, Fukuro, you can see a little bit more of the coast here. You can see indeed that obsidian continues on. There might be a little bit of a gap, or at least you can see a little portion where there aren't quite so many of these pillars of glass extending out into the waters. You're not sure if it extends all the way into the mainland of this island, or if the ship is deft enough to maneuver between them. You can see something that may or may not be a passage, but still no sign of civilization.
Well, there's still no port. And there's still obsidian, though a bit less of it.
I suppose we should keep going.
That
So
would
we're
be...
gonna be here for a while then. I gotcha.
Well, yes. We can see the port at least. We can only hope that it isn't more hidden.
I guess I wouldn't be surprised if it was hidden, but I can't even find a way to, get through all these shards of obsidian.
But there is a bit there at Fukuro saw that is less dangerous to pass through.
Though it still may not be big enough for the ship, I suggest we continue circling the island.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
All right. Move the ship to its next point.
Okay. I guess here makes sense.
All right. It's kind of further from the island than the last two places.
What? Oh. I guess, I don't know.
Scooch over. There you go.
I guess I can see more of the island than you can. I'll put it right there, because also I'm realizing you could only see what I've revealed to you, so you can't quite tell which is the outlying islands and which is the mainland, though I think that would become more apparent to your characters. So,
Yeah.
Fukuro, another perception with advantage. Oh, very nice.
Killing it.
So, Fukuro, you, this time with that 25, you think you can catch a little bit better of a view of the island. You can see that there is indeed a second volcano close to the center of its mainland. You can see that, if anything, the obsidian seems to increase in density past that passage you saw. including around this odd little sandy atoll. But then you notice something else. You notice a much shallower plume of smoke. Hold out your spyglass, and you think you can see signs of what might be some kind of settlement, some kind of civilization, or at least some kind of a man-made fire over here. And you can indeed see, you don't get all of those reflections that make you squint your eye of the sun in that direction. It seems like the coastline is relatively clear of obsidian there.
He points out where it is again.
I believe I may have found something.
Jackpot!
Did you find the
could
boat?
say that. It's no, but I found a village? Maybe. Also, there's a second volcano.
Oh,
interesting.
because one was so fun the first time.
Get used to it, Bijutsu. I get the feeling there's going to be a third.
You know what? You could probably bet chimes on that.
But we still have not found the dragon's fate, so...
You see anything about that village? Does it look, I don't know.
It looks
Do you see any
villagey.
buildings?
Does he see any buildings or just fire?
Yeah, you're too far away to make out anything like buildings. You can just see, a couple of plumes of what are clearly some kind of a man-made flame, maybe a bonfire or something over there. You don't know if it's a city or if it's just one guy hanging out on the beach.
Maybe if we move down towards that way, we could get a better view of it.
Well, it is the only thing we've seen so far. I guess we should head toward it, and if we can get there, perhaps. I guess we could just ask. I don't know if they get many visitors here.
Let's try for it.
I guess
Maybe.
we move here more closer to where the village or where the fire is seen.
Yeah. This time I won't even make you roll for it, Fukuto, because you kind of have a better idea of what you're looking for. You can see this a little bit more clearly. You can see that there's this dark beach extending up from the shore, occasionally broken by these dark volcanic-looking rocks. And you can see what looks less like a city, less even like a village, more than just this hodgepodge, you don't know, colony. It takes you a second, but you pick out that there are all of these what look like upended shipwrecks, like the hulls of ships upside down, spread out around the beach. You can see what look like maybe they could be little flags or like garlands of flags between poles around this area. Can see make out more the that bright glowing point of what you assume is the fire that you could identify before. It does not look very very large, and it's also pretty clear there is no sign of a dock of any sort of a deep water port. You know that Setya's courage won't be able to make the landing here, that you'll have to take out your skiff, row out there yourselves.
Well, it's definitely good to note.
So do we think it is worth it to investigate this?
Mm,
Well, it's a lead, but it doesn't look like a great lead.
It's the
I
only thing we've
If
seen.
anyone's here, it's gonna be the locals, and we're not necessarily interested in someone who's local here.
Well, but the locals know. The locals know what is. They would know the island.
That is
At the very
true. But we know fuck all about who those locals would be.
we don't even know if they speak the same language.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point.
For now, I think we should be looking for the dragon's feet.
We'll definitely
I'm
put a
only
pin
worried
in this
about the.
location.
I'm only worried about the ship's power. We might not be able to come back if we go too far.
Hmm.
But I guess. Well. No sign of the fate. I mean,
I think
you know my expertise is talking to people, so I guess my idea would be to go towards the people. I don't know. That's just
how
my thought.
yeah. Good question. How accessible does the beach look?
The
Like, is it?
beach, I mean, it looks fairly accessible. You don't see those kind of obsidian blade pillars sticking out of the island, sticking out of the water around here. Whereas most of the shoreline that you could see looked pretty rocky here. It looks more like a sandy slope. You can see that there's a little bit of texture to the landscape beyond this apparent settlement, though without getting closer, it's hard to tell exactly what that is. But yeah, it looks like a pretty straight shot, though again, clearly, you know, Setya's courage is too big to dock on a beach.
But we have
Definitely.
a little bird.
Maybe I could just fly up quick and get a better overview of the island.
Yeah, sure. So,
Oh,
how are you doing that?
Is it cheating if I try to Google the birds with the best eyesight? I feel like an eagle is already pretty good, but I don't know what's better than that.
Yeah, an eagle is pretty good. I mean, what bird forms have we established Peyton coming into contact with in the campaign? If you can tell me
Eagles.
that, I'll tell you which one has the best eyesight.
The rock.
Yeah, the rock and blade wings.
Yeah, well, you can't turn into a rock, I'll tell you that.
Boo.
Let me see how blade wings are. Oh yeah, yeah. Eagle has better eyesight than a blade wing.
Okay, let's just go with a good old eagle then.
All right. Though since you can fly high up in the air, the checks are a little bit easier for you than they are for Fukuro. So, once more, Peyton whooshes into a bird. Is there anything special about Peyton Eagle?
I'll come back to you about that.
All right. And you fly into the air. Are you kind of trying to get closer to the island, or more so you just trying to gain altitude?
Altitude mainly.
All right. Roll that perception with advantage, and then it's a +4 then to whatever you get. So 13 plus 4, 17. You fly up, try to get a better view, and you can at least make out a little bit more of the coastline. Can see that this is clearly sort of the mainland of the Isle of Glass, where this settlement is situated. Looking beyond it, you don't see any sign of more trees, of more settlements, of really much of anything. It's just sort of looks like dark rock up to the volcano itself. It's not the sort of deeply threatening landscape of Hanto, but it also doesn't seem like the kind of thing where there's going to be a ton going on.
Okay.
Peyton gonna go closer to the village and see what's up with that?
If I have the time, I'm not sure how fast I am as an eagle compared to the distance.
Yeah, let me see. An eagle has a fly of 60 feet. So, let me get out my calculator and
5
figure this
miles.
out. So yeah, you can travel about 8 miles in that hour as an eagle.
8 miles in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 because you
Yeah.
have to be able to come back.
And I probably went a few up too.
I mean, you're not going to travel a mile up, because when you're traveling a mile up, that's already where you can barely breathe. I'll give you the altitude for free.
Nice.
Okay. I guess
Free
I'll
altitude.
just fly over. Here-ish. Oh, that isn't a very illustrative thing.
That's
but
fine. You're just saying that you're flying 4 miles closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy enough. So you fly in. Go ahead and make one more perception check for me, Eagle Peyton.
Oof.
15. Yeah, you fly closer. However, getting 4 miles closer, that does make a pretty big difference. You can see a bit more clearly. And it is much more obvious that there is no greener around here. And actually, what is behind that settlement that stretches on the beach, seemingly to go up this slope towards the rocky volcanic hills, they look almost like petrified trees. They look like, sort of worn out tree trunks that have just over time become replaced with mineral and become rock. Almost like a forest. That settlement itself, you can see more clearly now that several of these boats, they have these kind of half tents built onto them. They are painted these bright colors. Some of them have these elaborate patterns on them. That there are sort of these walkways around and a few odd things on the beach. They almost look like some kind of strange statues. You're not sure. And there are spot a number of people milling around, though at this distance you can't make out any details about them.
Okay. I'm just taking a look and flying back and telling everyone.
Yeah, after an hour, Peyton arrives back. He tells you all he saw.
Petrified trees. How weird.
So, wait, how big was the settlement exactly?
It seemed, it didn't seem like it was huge in terms of being populous, but it was fairly spread out. Certainly takes up a lot less space than Yangshi, but probably has a robust amount of people there.
All right.
But yeah, definitely not as much as like a city.
Maybe we should keep that place in mind then. After we find the dragon's feet. That, yeah.
Feet.
Yes. After we find the ship that we're looking for.
Right.
The enormous ship that apparently evades us somehow.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean-
I'm also in agreement that like I feel we can come back to this place if we want to.
Sounds
I
like
say
a
we-
plan.
Keep scoping.
Okay. So, I guess we're going to continue around the island.
Yeah.
Does it look
Should
safe?
we go? Go on.
Does it look safe enough to travel in between these islands on our ride, or do we have to go all the way out here to get around them?
It looks like where you are now, you don't have that obsidian breaking things up. It's probably safe.
So we can try and go through here, maybe. Do you think? Everyone?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so
Definitely.
where's the ship going next?
Well, I guess because there's a giant blackness in the way, I'll stop here for the second. Because I can't see further ahead.
You can move it into the blackness, and I'll adjust it because I assume you wouldn't sail, directly into a rocky coastline.
Yeah,
You
we,
wouldn't
Oh
we,
no, it crashed.
we sail as far north as it makes sense to do so here.
All right, but still saying, on the east side of the island and not northeast. And,
I guess I can't really see.
Yeah. Okay, Fukuro, go ahead and roll another perception. Oh, very good. So, as you continue on, you catch a more side of the island, and you actually end up kind of bringing the ship to a dead halt as you see that there are more of these shards of obsidian kind of in front of you. But you easily enough, with Fukuro's keen eye, manage to bring the ship around and finally up sort of more around the coast. You don't see any more signs of settlement here. If anything, it just looks more rocky. You can see another puff of black from those volcanoes up above, but again, no eruption. And Peyton, when you flew closer, you certainly didn't see any sign of like a lava magma or of a recent volcanic flow or anything like that, at least by that settlement.
Still no dragon's fate, though.
No dragon's fate.
Oh God, if this thing is like directly north of where we started, I'm gonna kill you.
I mean, technically, I don't think we know it. Well, we know it's near the Hourglass. That's all we know, I guess. Let's see. So we have about.
Yeah, well, you know that Emiko was on the island of Glass.
Yes, and she said the dragon's. According to the summary, she said the dragon's fate was docked in its waters, which could mean close by, I guess, or further away. But so we have about 35 miles left to go in our journey. Because we had to.
I feel like it would be unfair for me not to say this. I'm pretty sure when I wrote that, my intention was the waters of the Tengu tetrahedron.
Right.
Oh, okay. So we're not totally sure if the dragon's fate is like settled on the island of glass.
No.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
So let's see.
Oh boy, searching time.
I guess
You
we'll
did
just-
hear reference to it being at a Melayari village.
We did.
Okay.
I guess well we've come this far, so let's move here-ish, I guess. Wherever the north coast is, underneath this big cloud of black.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you're gonna have to move a little further than that before you get another perception check. Are you just gonna move the rest of your distance?
Let's see.
You want to be too close to the island for that, though?
What do you mean?
Like, we don't want to... Well, I guess I could always move the boat with control water, but I'd be a little scared to park too close to the island. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because all those people living on that coast are sure gonna see us.
I mean, if you think about it, going close to the island, you're less likely to be spotted than you are out on the open sea.
I guess so. Maybe we could park somewhere like safe between rocks or something.
Sure. I
Julia.
guess. Well, we have enough distance left to just sort of scan the north coast here, and maybe end up over here. I don't know.
That's 30?
That was 35.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I think if you're kind of staying close to the coast, then yeah, you can get that.
Alright.
All right, so Fukuro, one last perception check for this mama.
Aha!
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let me do my reveal. So many rays.
That was just the full path.
So, sorry, I'm making a reveal octagon thing. Polyhedron.
Tetrahedron.
Ooh, mama.
Og champ. That'll settle it.
So, yeah. Actually, you'd probably see even more than that. Yeah, you get a much clearer view of the north coast of this island, which you are very confident, Bukuro, as you keep scanning it, is just barren until you see this peninsula, sort of rockier, not this beach like the other one, but in this other passage where it seems like there's not really any of this obsidian breaking up the ocean. And from what you can see there, you see another thin plume of a grayish smoke from a campfire, actually a couple of them. And as you survey it with your spyglass, you see that there are not like repurposed shipwrecks like the other ones, but there are more these almost burrows dug into the very easily workable, and I think you'd know that the pumice itself is pretty soft, pumice of this peninsula. It looks like, yeah, a series of almost, if you've ever seen those ancient Native American villages out like in the Arizona desert that are hidden like in these canyons. It sort of looks like it's that kind of a feel to the village there. Clearly occupied, though.
Does it appear at a glance to be more populated, or have a lot more buildings, or more buildings at least than the last one? Or
you'd actually guess it's probably around the same size. And again, you don't see an actual dock here.
Well, how about that?
So, I found us another settlement. It appears to be about the same size as the last one.
Do you think we should investigate it? I mean,
Well,
it is
the ship can't move any further today, and
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit of leeway in where you end the ship going, because once you spotted that, maybe your path would have changed. Who knows?
yeah. And see, we've been sailing for 8 hours. Started at 7ish, I guess, or something. So yeah, the day's probably still good.
Yeah, it's afternoon now.
Yeah. Well, if we don't want to sit here for the rest of the day, we might as well take a rowboat. I don't know.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea.
Why not?
Why not, indeed?
Well, they could be cannibals. Who knows? That's why not. But that's only a joke, huh?
Uh,
I don't like that joke.
I won't even comment.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad plot out of some of the stuff I read in my spare time. Not, well, shit, anything could happen at this point.
Really? We went to an island full of living dead people. You think cannibals are unrealistic?
Now that you say it out loud, it makes me sound like a dumbass.
It was only a joke about the potential inhospitability of the people. But anyway, we won't know how they'll treat us unless we go there.
They're not boogeymen that's just going to knock us out and eat us at a moment's notice, I'm sure.
And besides, we we probably shouldn't waltz up there and just say hello. We'll probably scout out the place before talking to anyone. See if we'll fit in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's go then.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we probably stopped the ship a bit closer, I suppose. Within rowboat
Sure,
distance,
yeah.
around the corner.
So, you guys load onto the skiff of Seti's Courage, lower it down. I'm assuming it's just the 6 of you. So I'd like a couple of you to roll for guiding the ship to shore, either athletics or seafaring.
Can I activate my navigator's Google Maps or no?
Google Maps, please.
Google, sorry.
If it even has a signal out here.
I'm gonna say no on this one. Besides, it's not like there's any trick about where you're going. You see clearly exactly where you're going. This is more,
Fair enough.
strength or ability to handle a boat.
It would seem there is no connection to this wireless.
How many people did you say? 2?
Yeah.
Bijutu has a +5 to seafaring, right?
Yes.
Should probably be one of them.
I have a +3.
Yeah, seafaring or athletics.
I have a +4 to athletics. Anybody else got anything higher?
6.
Okay. The robot then.
The rowboat.
The rowboat. Row.
Come on!
Row. Why?
What the-
Why did we have to roll like crap?
Okay,
So-
this is bad.
You begin rowing, all of you helping where you can, but really Bijutsu and Jin taking the brunt of this force. And you can see, sort of, though those large shards of obsidian, of glass, aren't sticking out, you still catch sight of it underneath the water. And it's kind of beautiful with these irregular planes under the water reflecting the sunlight through that murky, sort of shimmering surface. It almost creates these rainbow patterns. And as you're getting closer to the shore, just as Fukuro espies a flag flying over that colony with an old symbol of Bansao, the legendary navigator of Ushanko history, and saying on the top, "Human unity, human purity," one of these obsidian shards beneath suddenly lurches up out of the water towards you. What are you guys doing?
Shoot it! Shoot it! Shoot it! Shoot it!
Oh!
Attacked by a rock.
I'm gonna shoot it. Can I shoot it?
You can shoot it if you want to. You quickly rear back your longbow, try to shoot it. Boom, boom, twice, and you just see those motes of force ping, reflect off of it.
Ah, shit.
So when you say it,
Yeah,
what,
this isn't something you can smack in the face, I don't think.
Activating smack in the face procedures.
when you say it lunges,
No.
so this is obviously moving at us.
Yes, this what looks like just big flat plane of obsidian has suddenly lurched out of the water, and it just looks like this large, sort of oblongly rectangular shard, perfectly smooth, glassy surface, is just kind of pushing itself towards your little rowboat.
Fuck. Would Fog Cloud be of any help here whatsoever?
You know what would be of help here? Control water. Alright.
4th level spell slots do you have?
I mean,
It,
I slept. We good.
No.
well, we did sleep after the storm.
Yeah, after the storm. We're good.
Yeah,
Start
we've already.
Control water! I'm gonna try to push, I guess push whatever the heck is lurching at us, like push the water in the opposite direction. Try to like stop it.
All right. So then you see the water starting to push away from you. And I'm going to roll a strength check for it. That is a failure. So yeah, it takes 2d8 bludgeoning damage.
Oh.
As it's sort of, you see it actually push back through the water, and it kind of is thumped against the rocks, but it's still struggling against it.
Can I punch it in the face
Yeah, go ahead.
with Mason's tools? Because it's like, okay. I don't
know.
Wait, how far away from the boat is it?
It's still pretty close to the boat. I'm going to say you pushed it back like... Does it say exactly how far back you push it? Oh, well, it would just be 10 feet according to your spell. So I'll say it's 20 feet away from the boat right now.
Okay.
Just out of lance range.
How long is your lance?
10 feet?
Man.
Well, I mean, it just gives me damage to 10 feet. Or I can just summon the Katana of Haran to spiritual weapon it to from a distance.
Yeah, either way for now, I guess Musoka's like holding it back.
Ooh. Or I have an idea. It's a terrible one, but DC is low, but I'm gonna try it.
Go for it.
Right. Jin's eyes kind of spark. He looks at this golem and says, "Seize protocol activated." And in fact, that's the whole person.
Ooh, I like it.
Hold person. All right, so yeah, there's a spark of blue energy from out of Jin's core. And what kind of save? Wisdom save. Actually, let me double check its stats. Yeah, you try to activate the seize protocol on it, but boom, it seems to just bounce off of that hard glassy surface.
Error. Seize protocol not taken into effect. Recalibrating.
Oh.
I think, just for fun, Shuriku is going to start playing the Komoso flute.
You start to play the Komoso flute, Shuriku, and you try to just blow into it, and it's not working the way that you remembered it working. It feels like you sort of exerted a certain amount of residual something the last time, and now it feels like it's hard to get much worth out of it without spending the time to really try to understand how this thing works.
Okay. Well, that's what he tries to do, I guess.
All right, I think that's everyone but Bijutsu.
Man, what am I gonna do? I have a bit of an idea. Are there any rocks jutting out nearby that she could potentially use her grappling hook to hook onto and then pull the ship away from it? Or pull the skiff away from it?
There are some rocks sort of in the direction of the golem. It doesn't look like there are any that you could use, at least within range of where you are right now, to pull your skiff away from the golem.
There goes that idea.
Does it look like it's actually made of obsidian, or is it more like a coating?
You can't say for certain, but it looks pretty obsidian-ish, and it's a very abstract form, as all you can see is sort of this big blade that seems to be animate somehow.
Yeah, like can we even see the like under of it, or do we just see like you said we just see that giant blade?
You know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and this might be a little bit unusual, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and use. What are you doing, Roll20?
Freezing, not working.
Of course it is.
Thanks, game.
Anyways, I was thinking I was going to potentially use detect magic to see if this thing is magical.
Ooh.
We'll go
All
for it.
right, so you cast detect magic, and instantly, yeah, you do get a ping off of this. It seems to be some kind of transmutation magic, heavily about this form.
Thanks, juiced up on transmutation magic. I don't know if you didn't do anything with that, Gramps.
So, obsidian is very brittle. Is this
Mhm.
thing like chipping or scratching, obviously, or does it seem to like unnaturally maintain its integrity?
I mean, from what you've seen so far, it's maintaining its integrity pretty well, but it is mostly just sort of poking itself out of this shallow water, so maybe a little bit hard to say for sure.
Okay, I would like to cast a lightning bolt, but
Oh, I think
Uh.
I know exactly what you're gonna do next.
hang on, I have to find the feature again. I can never remember. Acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, necrotic, radiant, or thunder. I feel like force would probably work best against obsidian. If it's not
Well,
brittle.
Fakuro literally just tried that and it reflected off.
Oh, did it?
I
Yeah.
guess maybe thunder might be an interesting idea.
Yeah,
That's
Thunder
That
was
Thunder
what I
Wave
was
is
thinking
like-
you were going to go for.
Thunder is what I was going to go for on my next try.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do. Wait, is lightning already thunder?
Well,
No,
No,
different.
like-
different things.
Thunder
One
Oh.
is
Wave.
the
Yeah.
light and the other one's the boom.
Okay. I'll do a thunder lightning bolt, a thunderbolt, if you will.
Okay.
So shatter with extra steps.
All right. Let's make a dexterity saving throw. 8d6 thunder damage. Let me make a dexterity. Yeah, that's a failure. All right, go ahead and roll the damage on that.
Wow.
Yeah. Peyton opens up his hands, and yeah, that's a lot of ones. And there is just this wave of force of kind of pure sound through the water. You see it creating this like Doppler effect of these increasing triangular waves on the surface, and just boom, impacts with the sting, still being pushed back by Mosoka's spell, as you see part of its obsidian surface kind of fracture a little bit.
Ha ha ha! Now that gives me an idea.
Now it is this thing's turn, and you see that it's sort of this blade. It seems to unfold, and it is very strange. You see these two almost like tall triangles of obsidian, these flat reflective surfaces, looking like they're probably around 12, 13 feet tall. In between them, this kind of a diamond or a rhombus of some kind that is just sort of perched, almost balanced or wedged between them. There's nothing even slightly humanoid about this golem's form, and there is no visible mechanism, no joints, as these two huge, essentially legs of flat obsidian try to push against the force of this whirlpool. Let me go ahead and roll another strength for it. And he gets 2 attempts here.
Oh, I only need one.
And only needs the one.
Actually, they have disadvantage trying to get out of it.
Ooh. Do they now?
Disadvantage?
Let me
Under the
see.
vortex.
Hold on, let me see.
Creature caught in the vortex and uses action to swim away from the vortex as described above has disadvantage on strength checks to do so.
Powerful. Look at that.
Where is it?
Uh,
Oh, down at the very bottom.
Yeah, if it's
Oh,
fails,
wow.
then
that is an insane spell.
it really is.
All right, let me roll that strength one more time then. Okay, so its first attempt is a fail. And let me make its second attempt. Also a fail. How do you guys I make these cool enemies and then you just keep them away from you and they can't do anything?
Suck it.
So it's struggling against this the force of these waves that Mosoka is continuing to generate. Can't do anything. Roll another 2d6, Mosoka.
Woo!
That's terrible.
You can see, and that same surface that was damaged by Peyton's spell kind of starts to chip off again. All right, you guys, do what you're going to do.
Okay. I'm not jumping in the water after it. That's a terrible idea.
Can I
You could
use
just
a
walk
ray of frost on it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, yeah. Very nice. You summon this ray of frost and it whooshes out towards it. And somehow, even though it's this hard stone, a bit of it seems to, maybe that water between the cracks seems to freeze slightly, and you see boom, a little bit of it slough off, being burst as this frost freezes it.
Ha! And my turn.
Well, you know what? Just for fun. Fukudo lob a thunderous chromatic orb at it.
Okay. Yeah, it hits and boom, once more erupts in thunder, and you see more of this glassy texture, just spiderweb cracks around it and pieces falling off into the water.
Shirku just puts his hands behind his head and lays back.
Good move.
Oh, I don't actually have much I can do against this.
Do you wish me to pursue it into the depths, or do you got this? It looks like you got this.
Got this. But I might not be able to hold it back for long, so you're gonna have to be our, our plan B if it gets too close.
Understood. And Jin kind of prepares to strike with a lance if it ever gets out.
All right. Anyone else? Peyton, Bijutsu?
I just had but I have to double check the spell description. 5 seconds.
All right, Bijutsu.
I think she's just gonna shoot it.
Yes. Okay.
Shoot it.
I think my roll 20 is broken.
Oh, no.
I will try restarting it.
Let me see.
Okay,
Did
here
you
it is.
roll? There you go. Yeah, you fire a shot towards it, and it kind of boom, pings off of it. For a second, you think it didn't do anything, and then you see a little bit of an impact it left, though not as much as you'd expect for the force behind that bolt.
Okay.
And the second one doesn't hit.
Is it my turn now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so obviously it's quite crucial that we leave it out overpowered by these tides. So I'm going to cast Reduce on it, which gives it disadvantage on strength checks and saving throws.
Wow. So what save is that? Constitution?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay,
Rip.
and you watch as this imposing obsidian structure shrinks down to half that size, so it's only about as big as one of you. All right, I guess that is its turn now. And so I think at that size, it's only going to get one chance to break this, which it will have disadvantage on Anyways, so I guess we'll make a strength check.
Ooh.
It succeeds.
No!
Force I threw. Just kidding.
The
No.
little golem that could.
It succeeds, but
Oh.
it's tiny.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what are the additional effects if it shrinks? It attacks.
Deals 1d4 less damage with
1d4
its,
less
attacks.
damage. All right. So you see it sort of boom. It manages to pull free of this whirlpool, and as it works its way out of it, it sort of boom puddles itself onto this little skiff with the rest of you, all of you sort of half scrambling back. It's small enough now to do that without tipping it over. However, it has to use its action to break free since it's tiny and it doesn't get 2 anymore. That's the way I'm judging it, since it would already have disadvantage on the strength. So that's going to be its whole turn. This thing is now in the boat with you. What are you doing?
Shoving it off.
And I was about to say,
Yes.
All right.
Shove
Make-
it off.
Yeah,
Aw, it's
make an athletics check.
It may be cute, however, it is not good.
So it rolled a
has-
19.
Yeah, I'm
doesn't
getting
have
it. I'm getting it.
disadvantage on
Oh,
that.
wait, it has disadvantage on all strength checks. Never mind. Let me roll that one more, and we'll see which
That's
is the
fine.
lower. 16.
Alright, just give me a sec. Roll 20 being rolled. Ooh.
Yeah. And Jin, you kind of just broadsided and boom, splash back into the water.
And this is a bit of a technical question. If
Mhm.
in theory I hit it and reduce its speed to 0, would it sink?
I guess it would. The
So
water
can I
is
try-
fairly shallow here.
I mean, it is tiny.
But yeah, it did. I'll say it did sink.
Yes, but I want to use Sentinel on it, if possible, to reduce its speed to 0, and thus we could get away well. You get the idea I'm trying to convey, right?
Yeah. Sure, we'll say that you kind of boom bashed into it, and it seemed like you set this odd sort of the connection between its blades and its center part so off kilter that it's not even moving around anymore.
Quickly, we must make haste with this vehicular construct before that golemus crystal construct catches to us.
Asshole, 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 ass!
Go. And we're going towards the island, right? Or are we? I assume we're going towards the
That's
island.
where we were heading, yes?
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
All right, so you guys are heading towards, well, it's a peninsula, not an island, but yes.
Yes.
It's a peninsula or an island.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's a peninsula on an island. So you guys all sort of start to put your backs into it while that thing is incapacitated for a few seconds. I'd like a couple of you to make, either seafaring or athletics checks. And I'll say you can take advantage because I'm assuming that all of you are sort of helping out.
Woohoo.
let's not have a repeat of what just happened.
Oh god. Oh, sorry.
Come on! That would be a 12.
12. So 12's not great, but with that 22 from Jin, you're still able to push forward. And you look back and you see that thing surface briefly, but then it doesn't seem to pursue you as you continue your way towards the island. It's maybe another half hour, maybe even less than that, maybe about 20 minutes of rowing before you hit that that sort of rocky slope, and you can see where it's pumice, where it is porous. You can see that there are several barnacles just below the surface of the water that have affixed themselves to this volcanic rock. The water is kind of, you have a bit of that getting to late afternoon sun, it gives this pleasant glow on your back with the cool water. It's sort of almost a little bit idyllic. Pretty nice here as you begin to ascend here. It's a little bit steep, but nothing that you guys aren't able to handle.
This rock climbing makes me want to take a nap. But I assume we all do we have to roll for like making it above the rocks or
No.
Nah.
So are you guys heading straight for where that civilization seemed to be here?
I'd say yes, but carefully. And we might have someone scout out before,
I mean, they'll probably see us. But
How open is this space?
I roll stealth.
Yeah, you can try to get there stealthily if you want, but if you just advance towards it, you can be pretty confident they'll see you.
Well, they're obviously gonna notice me because I'm a freaking good automaton, which makes a lot of noise. So,
Well, I mean, I think we're talking about stealth while in the boat, because once we get to the shore, it's a different matter. But
I see.
so, do you think it's best to not surprise them and make them feel more at ease by coming straight up to them? I guess, or should we sneak in
I mean,
around the side in case they're bad people?
I think it's probably best to be honest about it. Honest and upfront.
Yeah, it's quick in, quick out.
Honesty. You can tell this is the party without any rogues. SMH.
SMH.
yeah.
Well, before we come to a
It's
decision,
Stealth, we have brains.
Ron, has any of our characters? Is there an association with that flag? Like, is that flag known?
Well, I mean, you definitely, I think enough of you would know about history to know that kind of the backing for that flag is one of the sort of historical or maybe semi-mythological flags that was supposedly once flown by Admiral Bansao. Though that in itself doesn't tell you too much because there are so many different groups that have adopted Bansao as a patron saint. That slogan less so. I'll let you guys roll history checks, but it's going to be a high DC for that to mean anything.
Wow.
Can I roll history too?
Oh, sure. Oh, wait. I was gonna say no for Peyton. I don't think Peyton would have the right experience for that. But you know what? I'll say Musoka.
Yeah.
You think that you vaguely heard something like that. Something through one of your connections you don't know, but even then you don't know exactly what it's affiliated with, but that it's often linked to conspiracy theories, to strange beliefs, to very vehement sort of anti-council, anti-con, anti-government sort of positions, and not in the same way as Antilia, a very different, older kind of thing. Think that, someone who would fly a slogan like that is probably pretty out on the edge.
Huh. How interesting.
And you also, I think, would know that it's probably someone who sympathizes with purists, if not necessarily a purist slogan.
By purist, you mean...
It does
racist,
say...
Yeah.
Oh.
It does say human purity on it, so that's a pretty big red flag, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a red flag in itself.
So,
Yeah.
maybe...
Right.
I think our characters would realize that, and Musaka, would you like to put a hood on or something?
Don't you mean Bijutsu?
Yeah.
Jutsu. I don't know if they're cool with sirens.
Yeah. They got crazy fuckers like that all over the place. Hang on. And yeah, she goes ahead and adopts herself a bit of a hood and a face mask.
I don't know if it's as easy to hide me as it is to hide you.
Would
What
you
do you
like
guys think? Should
my
I?
mask?
I could. You need it.
I mean, I'll say that if you want, you canonically all got your Hanto masks.
Why not? I imagine I also kind of have that Hanto scarf, so I could. I'll hide my face. I'll try to stay in the back though.
Okay.
I
All
adopt the
right,
mask.
so kind of cover yourselves up. How are you managing the approach?
Honestly, there's probably no point in stealthing. I don't think anybody but Fukuro has a chance of doing all that good anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just not make it too complicated.
Yeah, and I guess
Well-
we are here. Our main goal is probably to talk to them. So
Actually,
Or we can just waltz up to their land and be like, "We're taking over your land." Or
I'm sure that's a great idea.
it really is a great idea. So great, we're not gonna do that.
we're not going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we could, but what's the point? Like,
Yeah, so I guess we're going to be going towards them openly, trying to, with the intention of trying to make it not look like we're creeping up on them with bad intentions.
exactly.
All right. So, who's leading the charge here?
I would say Shiruku, but you have disadvantage, don't you?
Well, wait, leading the charges in rowing the boat, or
No,
talking?
you guys have already sort of pulled up to this rocky shore, and you just will ascend here and then towards the village. If you're in the boat, you're on the boat next to shore.
Sure. Well, I think
Imagine that it's like kind of a rocky peninsula, so when you're right next to the shoreline, they can't see you from, within that village. But when you ascend, you're probably going to be seen unless you make a big effort to be stealthy.
I think Shuriku is going to be leading the conversation still. Oh, we lost someone. Julia.
Oh no. So, for now, why don't we say that Musoka is remaining in the boat and make sure it doesn't drift away? As you guys, without making any attempt to sort of hide your identities, your intention, or yes, making attempts to hide your identity, but not your intentions or approach, ascend up onto the rock towards the village. Shiruku, before you even see someone, you suddenly hear this loud crack.
Hey boy.
And does that hit you, even with your +2? Yeah, it would. It's a 24.
Yeah.
You feel this boom, suddenly this piercing pain in your thigh. And you hear some voice call out, though not being able to see the origin of it. Who the hell is you? Y'all from the government?
God damn it.
Y'all ain't gonna take us alive.
We're not from the
This
government.
here's the goddamn free colony.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Guardians, it's a ocean redneck.
Why the fuck did you shoot me?
This is our land. We ain't take no truck with the council.
We
Now
aren't
y'all
the fucking
again,
council.
I'm gonna shoot again.
We aren't the council, you idiot.
I'm gonna give you to the count of 4.
Mind if
What?
I just
Can,
step
can we
forward?
try to spot him while he's counting?
Sure. Somebody roll a perception check.
Gotcha.
All right, Peyton. you are scanning this, and you think you can see past one of these sort of burrows. You can see that they're actually these fairly well carved facades into the pumice stone, and there are a few sort of rugs hanging from them. You can see where that flag is flying, but you think you spot a little glint of metal off the sunlight shining down into where all of these carved out places are of the barrel of a musket sticking just out of one of these shadowed windows.
Uh,
3,
Well, time to get in front of Shiruku and protect him from the next shot.
4, and Jin, that is enough time for you to kind of toss yourself in front of Shiruku, giving him an additional +2 AC. So you got a +4 to whatever your regular AC is, but you hear another crack.
That's just enough.
Why?
And even still, with you holding yourself in front of him, there's a little bit of Shiruku's legs still visible beneath your own outstretched golem legs. And you feel this sharp sting as you're hit again, Shiruku.
We're not the damned council.
Yeah, I've never seen you before.
We're planning to come here and trade with you. We have bananas.
I don't care about no goddamn bananas. Y'all probably some kind of communist or some kind of sirens. Some goddamn sirens.
I assure you, we are cold-hearted capitalists. We're merchants. We got some bananas. We have other things.
Merchants. I'll bet you some bitches ain't even human. Bitch, some of you them goddamn cat people or cow people.
Well, this is probably gonna suck.
Can,
but
can
you
we
know
just
what?
kill
You
this guy, honestly?
you can't see her her mouth, but you can tell that her eye is just twitching slightly.
Do any of us look like cats or cows? Really?
They sneaks it like. They sneak up on you, you won't even know before you got some cat pawing around in the litter right in your own backyard. This is our backyard.
Not to be kidding.
so, how far away did you say this guy was?
Probably about, let's say 40 feet from where you are now.
Okay, and I could just barely see like the glint of his musket.
Mm-hmm.
Is there cover nearby?
You could probably run off, find a rock to duck behind. It's a rocky landscape.
Yeah, okay, so, actually, never mind. I want to hear what the others want to do first, because this is a very stupid idea, so I'll save it for last.
Well, I honestly just think I might just start shooting him.
Permission to terminate?
Okay, I guess I'll do it because it's kind of funny. I want to cast Major Image
All right.
to create an illusion of myself standing where I am now. Meanwhile, I sneak away and then teleport behind him with Misty Step.
All right. Peyton, you create this image of yourself. You kind of hear him call out, all right, you old timer, don't you come no closer. And Peyton, you teleport in behind him?
Yeah, I mean, I have to sneak a little bit first to get within the 30 feet, I guess.
Okay, roll a stealth check for me. It's not going to be a massively high DC.
Oh, this is where it all falls apart.
This is glorious. Oh, God.
No.
Hey, I spot you! I spot you! And he's gonna shoot at you.
Damn.
I don't care
Permission?
how old you is. You ain't gonna sneak up here. Now,
Permission to fire, senpai.
So we can all obviously see him by now, right? Or at least
I think now that it's been pointed out to you, you can definitely see the gun, but he's sort of like, it seems like he's resting that musket sort of on that stony ledge and sort of only popping up just enough to shoot when he shoots.
Seen any traces of anybody else, right?
You had definitely seen some other people, or Fukuro had, from afar. You know that there are others in this settlement. And that's clear enough from the other stony facades here, but he's the only one who's engaged you.
Alright, so this is a bit of a not a silly idea, but something which is an intimidating. I'm just gonna approach and intimidate him to drop his weapons. If possible. You know, just your friendly 400-pound robots just pointing at you as he's approaching.
So, what exactly does Jin do then?
Simple. He's gonna point at him and say, by the decree of the. I can't really say it.
Maybe that.
I reflavored it with spell for this, but you know what? Sure, screw it.
I don't
By
think
the
this guy
decree
likes
of
the
the
craze.
by the decree of the Khan-8, drop.
We just said we went with the government.
He hates
And now
the
we're like-
government.
We're not supposed to tell them we're part of the.
no, we were with the council.
Not the council.
All right, so it makes a wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
He can't be that wise. Come on. He's got to have like
All right,
-2.
let
Yeah,
me go
but
ahead
if-
and
Let's go.
roll for
DC
him.
is a 12. But he failed anyway.
That's enough, and you hear this, and then you sort of hear the doom doom, that musket clatter as you watch it sort of fall off the ledge, onto the opposite side where he is, and roll about a foot towards you. You say, "All right, damn it, these mechanical mans! I got enough problem with these obsidian golems. Now they're bringing in these other golems from the government. I hear you. You
wait,
ain't gonna
wait,
take
wait.
us alive. There are dozens of us."
Oh, for the love. We're
Don't
not
let
here
it
to
kill
make
you,
you.
Jack
We're not here to kill you. Would you just shut up and listen for once in your life?
Roll. I'll say Bijutsu or Fukuro. Roll persuasion or intimidation.
Bijutsu, you can do that.
Yeah. Since I'm the only one who actually has a positive bonus. So persuasion or intimidation. Intimidation is more Bajutsu style, and son of a bitch.
If I'm helping her, shouldn't it be with advantage?
Yeah, I guess so. All right, roll it again. Oh.
Well,
Oh. Look, y'all some bitches. You ain't gonna take me. I swear to all the guardians and the kami of the sea, y'all ain't gonna take me.
Just leave.
And that is when you spot this tiny ball of something with this little trail of smoke go flying out of that window towards where I think Fukuro, Jin, and Bijutsu, having tried to engage him, are sort of maybe standing a little bit forward. I think I'm going to need all of you to make dexterity saving throws.
All right.
Alright.
Is
I'm actually
Misoka-
going over here. This is hilarious.
Misoka caught in this?
Oh, well, since your thing had pooped out, we said that you were back down in the boat, but you can say that Musoka's caught up to everyone.
Oh,
but
nah,
yeah.
you know.
Hey, so this is fire damage, right?
Yes. That's fire damage. Ooh. you.
I don't
So
need
yeah, Bajutsu, you kind of see this coming and throw yourself clear. Fukuro and Jin, you are both kind of blindsided as there's a sudden burst of something in front of you. But Fukuro, you absorb some of that damage.
So, question. Since all of my stuff is part of the bow,
Mm-hmm.
would I be able to use that elemental damage with the bow instead of just a melee weapon?
Sure, I'll allow it.
You know what? I don't want to shoot the guy. I feel like shooting at the guy kind of defeats the purpose of us trying to be peaceful.
Yeah, at the moment, too, you can't see him. He was kind of crouched behind this, half foot of stone when he tossed that bomb towards you.
Oh, you know what? If that's the game you want to play, then fine. This is the part where one of you is supposed to stop me from shooting him.
Permission to terminate said race, said oppressor of the government.
But before you get a chance to shoot him, there's suddenly another shot towards you, Fukuro. Which, does that hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you suddenly feel this pain in your shoulder, and you look up from one of these other buildings that seems to have this little half wall like courtyard thing. This older woman with kind of graying black hair has her own musket pointed at you, and she says, "Hey, Yamane! The hell these people are from the government! Oh shit! Y'all government types best get out of here! You ain't gonna take us! I already told them that, Fuji!
Alright, you know what?
You ain't done too good a job!"
Well, you're
Shot
gonna be like
3
that.
times and had a grenade thrown at us? Fuck it, I'm shooting her.
But she's an old lady.
I don't give a shit.
Wait.
No, wait.
Wait. Okay. Run.
Yes.
How long has it been since this whole debacle started?
I don't know.
A minute
Minute or two?
Yeah, okay. Can I use my diplomat feed? So, I'm not trying to charm them. I'm just, I don't know. Just the feat is called diplomat. So can I try and defuse the situation? I mean, that's what I've been trying to do. I don't know.
All right, sure. Yeah, I didn't have you do any rolls for your last thing, so I won't make you use a foresight, Fukuro, if you want to say that you held back for a second on your shot long enough for Shiroku to try to use diplomacy.
He would take out his bow and get ready to pull back, but then when Shiroku starts talking, he just kind of freezes.
All right. So, Shiroku, you sort of stand up and walk out. So I think you still have disadvantage, but you get to add an extra +4 to it.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean +4?
Well, double your proficiency bonus. Or wait, what does that mean? I'm sorry. I only grazed it very quickly.
Oh, no, that's not related to this particular check. That is that is me getting expertise in persuasion every time.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's not related to the third feature.
All right. Sorry. Okay. So what do you say to them?
Look, I don't need to tell you again. We are not from the government. We are just merchants. We saw some people here. We thought, oh, what a nice place to perhaps sell some bananas or some nice clothes. We thought, oh, they must be nice people here. But we did not expect the first thing to happen is that we would get shot at. That's really your first reaction to people. Look at us. We haven't fired a single shot back at you. We have just been standing here while you attempt to kill us. Please. Please just see some reason. We can all just talk. It doesn't have to be a stupid gunfight.
All right. I'm going to roll insight for both of them.
Hey boy. Let's see.
And because I liked what you said so much, I'll give you a +2 to whatever your roll is.
And I don't think this applies right now. I don't have advantage for trying to be a different person.
Or trying to be a different person.
I am, but I don't think it. I don't know. I think I'll just roll it anyway.
You're a disgruntled banana salesman.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, you still manage to overcome both of their insight checks.
I mean, this is
And
seriously.
and the woman calls out, "Hey, Marty! Yeah, Fuji. Think y'all done crapped it up. I don't think these people's from the government." "Oh, damn, I reckon you might be right." And slowly, they both emerge. The woman Fuji sort of holding out her gun and one hand raised, sort of showing she's not going to shoot it. And then the man, this kind of thin, rangy guy with all of this grayish scruff on his almost non-existent chin. "Well, I guess y'all ain't so much government taps after all. Welcome to the free colony of the island of Glass. Now, y'all ain't been vouched for, but seem you found your way here anyway. So what can we do for y'all?" And with that, you can go ahead and close up this silly session.